Ewa hakuna fea. Tunataka hela. Tunataka hela. That is a highlight. Underline in bold, yes.
Hela.
Hapo kwanza. A very good morning to each and every one of you who is tuned in on the show. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya Entertainment Thursday. Yes, it is that time of the week where we get to let loose a bit and, you know, put on our dancing shoes. And I hope that you're ready. It's raining outside, but don't you worry. We're going to be bringing all the warmth from right here on Entertainment Thursday. My name is Vivian Degwa, and we have a packed show lined up for you. Today will be quite diverse with the interviews that we're going to be doing. I'll be talking to a model that is a beauty queen all the way from Germany, and then we'll also be talking to a fashion designer. I'll also get to have a gospel artist and an artist that I know you've seen on here, and we actually love his vibe, so you don't want to miss any beat of the show. And of course, Unique the DJ is in the building.
Yeah.
Unique, what's up?
I'm good. I'm kwa fiti. Nashukuru sa God sana mazi. Na internet kwa mtandao wasanii wana release mangoma, like I'm always happy when I see artists wana release muziki like back to back. Talking of new music being sold, they have a new song with the Vijana Barubaru. Yes. It's a very beautiful song. Diana Chords with the he has a new song also, Must Be Mad. Arrow Boy and Christopher Martin, they have a very beautiful song. Jabidi na Mama Jabidi pia, they have a new song. Mora, do you remember Mora?
Yeah,
Mora pia kona new song. Yeah. Costa Ojuang also has a new song. Kuna Kanairo by Mr. Sid. That song imekuwa in a very controversial kwa mtandao. So I don't know sijui amefikishana wapi. There's an artist pia amesema that song ni yake nini. So I don't know. Sijui amefikia wapi. Talking of Willy Paul, after wamesema wanamsupport pia ameanza kutoa ngoma back to back. So all in all, I'll be sampling those songs to na show, so keep it locked.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Vivian team, and to everyone who is watching Entertainment Thursday. Today, venye show imeanza, it's going to be lit. But of course, before we get to that, we're going to have interesting conversation, diverse interviews, as Vivian has put it. And mine, I'll start by having a conversation with the three young gentlemen on matters to do with social media. Should it be regulated or not? That is the first conversation I'll be having immediately after the news. And also, I'll be speaking to Brian Monyoroku Karaoke, who is the founder and visionary leader of Brown Records Entertainment. That will be coming to you on Entertainment Thursday. Stick around. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning to you, Mike and Vivian. Indeed, it's Entertainment Thursday, and as we're talking about entertainment, if you have been on the socials, and I like the conversation you're going to be having later on, Mike, just looking at should we regulate social media use or not? Currently, there's an amendment to the Computer Misuse Act, and the NC4 is seeking more powers. The NC4. So when you talk about NC4, we are talking about the national, it's a committee that looks at matters cybersecurity. And currently they have 8 members, among them the governor of the central bank, right? Head of NIS, right? Also head of, just to mention top of mind, it looks militarized, those who make the NC4. And the conversation has been the powers that be, the power of the internet and how we're supposed to use it. So there is a proposal already in Parliament to give more powers to the NC4 that may actually change how we do things when it comes to social media. So maybe you can look it up and engage your guest in regard to that matter, because if this actually sails through, this is the third time that this particular debate will be finding itself at the National Assembly. The third attempt to try and, what is it called? Regulate use of internet. And it will not just affect bloggers as it is, it will also affect individuals, you and I, and how we use the internet platform either to disseminate, to consume the content, and such going forward. That's a great conversation you're going to be having.
Yes.
And talking about entertainment, there's also something that has now shifted to the political scene. And this is about the play, or rather the choral verse, by none other than Butere Girls. We've been watching what has been happening from the political point of view. They're expected to be presenting their choral verse, I think this morning.
Today, yeah.
And yesterday, we were treated to some drama, especially on social media platforms. And I just wanted to wish the parents of Butere Girls, the team that is set to be performing this particular choral verse. As a parent, I can imagine the anxiety on account of safety of your children. So we claim safety and protection upon the girls who are going to be making their presentation there. It's so sad that artworks have gone political, but this is not an isolated case. If I want to take you down back in history, we can go all the way to South Africa and the import that Sarafina had in changing the dynamics when it comes to the role that children actually play when it comes to changing societal situation, so to speak. We can also look back home. There was, I don't know how many of you have read this particular book by Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Gahikadeda. I will marry when I want. This is one of the literal works that were also burnt here. And just a case in point, we also had another play that was burnt, Shackles of Doom. It's not the first time, but then, was it necessary? And that's the question we are asking, especially on social media. Was it necessary? Is it necessary? I'm imagining from a child's point of view. You know, that is what is going on in mind. Just to remind you, it's Entertainment Thursday, and you can wade in into this conversation. Get us on X. What do you think about literal works that have so far turned political? Now we start off with headlines, stories that have been making headlines in the last 12 hours. Just to remind you that I'm Regina Manyera, and this is in the headlines. And just in case you're wondering, the views that are given in this particular segment are entirely our own as individuals. Nonetheless, we remain here to inform, educate, and entertain. Welcome to Entertainment Thursday. Now we start off with Matters News, where 16 new cases of Kala-Azar disease have been reported in Wajir and Marsabit counties, with the death toll hitting 33 in the last 24 hours. Addressing the media in Wajir, Principal Secretary in charge of Public Health, Mary Muthoni, assured residents of containing the disease, with surveillance being enhanced in northeastern counties.
Kala-Azar, a parasitic disease transmitted by sandflies, has so far claimed 33 lives in Wajir and Marsabit counties since its outbreak in the country in October 2024. Despite the government's effort to eliminate the disease, new cases are still being reported, with 4 cases and 7 cases reported in Wajir and Marsabit counties, respectively, in the last 24 hours.
We still have Kala-Azar in the northeastern counties. Wajir leading and Marsabit. Already we have 1,041 cases, and just last night we had 16 new cases that have been discovered. We already have 33 deaths.
However, Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi has expressed optimism after confirming that the county hospitals are now discharging more patients than they are admitting due to collaborations between the county and national health teams.
Working together with the national government and with also other players in this sector of health, I can comfortably say that we have brought it under control. And we are doing our very best to ensure that there is no one more life lost.
Children under the age of 5 years are the most affected, accounting for 74% of all infections and 88% of all deaths. Symptoms of Kala-Azar include irregular bouts of fever, weight loss, enlargement of the spleen and liver, and anemia.
Now we'll be keeping tabs on that development. So far, 33 deaths recorded as government emphasizes that the spread of the disease, that is Kala-Azar, is going to be contained. We'll be keeping tabs on that development in Wajir. Now to the National Assembly, the teacher crisis shortage in junior secondary schools took center stage at the National Assembly yesterday afternoon as Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migo Ogamba fielded questions from members of Parliament. Lawmakers are demanding clarity on teacher recruitment and funding delays that continue to affect learners across the country.
A silent crisis continues to brew in the country's junior secondary schools. A critical shortage of teachers. Appearing before the National Assembly on Wednesday, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos admitted that while efforts have been made, many schools are still grappling with limited staff, some relying on as few as 2 or 3 teachers.
It's true that there, and I've indicated it, that we do not have the optimal number of teachers in each school. So we are making do with the number that we have. But in 2025, for example, the teacher shortage stands at 98,461 teachers.
He added that the ministry is working closely with the Teacher Service Commission to retool existing teachers to better support the junior secondary school curriculum.
So that they are able to teach the subjects and they are able to meet the requirements of the students as we work towards employing more to ensure that we have enough. That's why we said we have employed 76,000 teachers in the last 1 or 2 years, and we continue making efforts to employ more depending on availability of budget.
But MPs pressed further, raising concerns over the issuance of employment letters allegedly involving members of Parliament.
To clarify, because it's been out there, the public believes that members of this House are the ones that are recruiting teachers for Teacher Service Commission. I would like him to clarify whether it is members that are recruiting or is the Teacher Service Commission that is recruiting teachers in Kenya.
Mr. Speaker, as far as I know, TSC recruits teachers for the ministry. The teachers are not recruited by members of Parliament.
Away from staffing concerns, the lawmakers also flagged cases of students being sent home for lack of school fees and delays in capitation.
Your plan in assuring that we do not have some students in Kenya who are always thrown out of class for lacking fees.
The head teachers are not allowed to send students home for lack of fees because secondary and primary schools is funded by the government unless it is the portion that relates to boarding that the parents pay. And we normally work very closely with the Ministry of Treasury to ensure that capitation is released on time. Last September, it was released 2 days before opening, so we did not have that challenge. But in January, there was a bit of a challenge. We had to do it even in installments. For the second term that is coming, we are already engaging with the Treasury, including this morning we had a meeting with Treasury to try and negotiate with them to ensure that we receive the capitation before the schools open.
Meanwhile, in the Senate, Environment Cabinet Secretary Deborah Mulongo has dismissed reports of illegal logging in public forests. She said a multi-agency task force is already in place to clamp down on illegal logging and charcoal trade.
Forest officers and cadets has been a game changer, achieving a significant reduction in illegal forest activities which contribute to deforestation. The ministry again deployed a multi-agency security team to enforce and eradicate illegal logging and charcoal production. There's enhanced surveillance and patrols. KFS has intensified surveillance efforts, including aerial monitoring and ground patrols, to deter illegal activities. These measures have contributed to a reduction in illegal logging and charcoal production.
Now from the National Assembly, the government will allocate a budget towards the DNA testing and funeral bodies recovered from the Shakahola forest in Kilifi County. Interior and Government Coordination Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, while defending the government against allegations of dragging its feet in releasing the findings of the probe, said the allocation of the budget will form the final stages of the conclusion of the probe that has been ongoing since March of 2023.
After the government launched a probe into the gory discovery of bodies in Shakahola forest, the investigation remains inconclusive, owing to difficulties in linking DNA samples to relatives. The bodies are yet to be released to their kin, owing to the DNA headache. Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen says the exercise will conclude soon once the government has allocated a budget for the same.
Based on my briefing I've received here, I really think that there is need for a one-off budget that takes care of both collection of information, of samples, but most importantly in terms of final leg in terms of investigation, but also what to do with the people who are unable to come forward. We are unable to get DNA samples. What do we do with the site? You know, can we make it a memorial site for remembrance of these victims of, unfortunately, religious extremism and radicalization?
While on a security sensitization tour of Kilifi, Murkomen denied allegations that the government was dragging its feet on concluding the matter.
This is regrettable, and this is an indictment on the part of government, you know, as a whole. It is something that should not happen in a country that has so many security apparatus, either whether somebody received intelligence information from the ground and maybe never acted on it, or we must own up as a government that this is a failure on our part.
In the meantime, Murkomen has warned government officers against aiding land grabbing in Kilifi County. Murkomen claims that land officials in the county are working in cahoots with national government administration officers, Ngao, judicial officers and police officers, being behind an emerging land-grabbing racket, depriving locals of their land in favor of wealthy individuals.
After here, I will be seeking for consultation with the Chief Justice because part of the problems here is sometimes our judicial officers compound the problem when it comes to land issues by either issuing conflicting court orders or sometimes issuing, for example, an order on adverse possession.
Now, still in the coastal region, the Kenya Defence Forces have brought down the 11-story building in Mombasa that has been sinking. During the exercise, nobody was injured as everyone had been evacuated from the surrounding area.
Early morning, and these were the scenes after the announcement that some roads, including the entry to the island through the Nyali Bridge, were barricaded to pave way for the planned demolition. Hours later, at around 12:55 p.m., the building was brought down by the Kenya Defence Forces.
Congratulations to the Army for the job that you have been able to do. The coordination that we have had together has been immense. The chiefs through the national government, the coordination ya wale ambao kwamba ni wazee wa mitaa, the county employees, you have truly made me proud. I'm honored to be called your governor.
Residents were asked to keep off the area for at least 2 hours to pave way for the clearing of the debris before they are allowed back into their houses. Despite a few shattered windows, no casualties were reported.
We have had 0 casualties. The building is down as planned. We had 17 ambulances. We had hospitals ready. For now, tupeni nafasi tu ya muda takriban saa moja, ikizidi sana masaa mawili, everyone will go back to their houses. The team in charge is already making preparations. Wakipatiwa go ahead, hii area kutakuwa na excavator leo kuanza kuondoa
The Mombasa County government is promising to investigate if regulations were flawed during the construction of the doomed building.
All the county government building inspectors who signed on any of those particular documents by being entrusted that they're the ones who went to the ground, until the verification is confirmed that what they signed is what is actually on the ground, they are to be sent on compulsory leave until this task force is going to be able to be finalized.
The owners of the building, however, say that the development was above board.
We had already applied for 6 floors. You are right. But at the ground floor level only when we are doing basement and we have the certificate to confirm, there's nothing we are hiding. We got an approval for 4 more floors, which is there. So there should be no speculations. There is nothing ill will. Hakuna kitu tumefanya nyume.
That building was 11-story. In Kiswahili, ilikuwa gorofa. Iko na gorofa 11. I'm just wondering, from my layman term, I'm not an engineer as such, when that building was coming up, did they notice it sinking when it was done, or during, and someone just ignored, what they were seeing? Secondly, there's a question of how is the ground, where this particular building was constructed? Did it have to do with the structural groundworks? This is a coastal region, so we have different, just as you do your studies when you're building when you're constructing a building, you have to have experts tell you how far deep you can go into the ground to get, a foundation that is going to stand the building that you're putting up and such. So I'd want to find out exactly what the report is going to bring out in this particular issue here, because 350 million is not, a drop in the, is not just something that you can wish away. And also looking at the lives that were put in danger. Were it occupied? Were it not brought down? So we need to look at that. Remember also the National Construction Authority has been, highlighting the challenges within the building and construction sector, saying that a majority of investors and developers opt not to engage certified engineers, so to just try and save cost. So this is a report that is quite important for us to have, to avert such losses, and also avert loss of lives if we go back in history. Now that takes us to Gikomba, where the government is investigating the recurring market fires in Nairobi County that has seen thousands of traders losing their properties and incurring huge losses in their businesses. Speaking after meeting traders who recently lost their property to a recent fire in Gikomba, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki says the investigations will give a report with recommendations on long-term solutions to the rampant fires in Gikomba and Toi Market. Timothy Kipnusu with the details.
Concerns over the frequent fires in Gikomba and Toi Markets and other parts of Nairobi County pushed those affected to seek audience with the Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki to seek lasting solutions to the menace. Speaking after meeting traders from Gikomba, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki said the government has tasked the security agencies to thoroughly investigate and submit a comprehensive report on long-term solutions to the rampant fires in Gikomba and Toi Markets.
We must go to the root cause, and therefore the President has directed the relevant agencies to investigate and the causes of these fires. It doesn't make sense to imagine that all these things are accidents, because they keep on happening year in, year out, and therefore that work is ongoing to make sure that we get into the roots of this matter and resolve it once and for all.
The government plans to construct at least 10 modern high-rise markets, including Gikomba, Toi and Muthurwa.
Bottom-up economic transformation means that even business people who are having small businesses, micro businesses, medium businesses, should do their trade, their businesses in a dignified place with amenities, with all the facilities that they require. Agenda yetu kwa watu ya biashara ni kuhakikisha kwamba wanabiashara wa viwango mbalimbali wako na nafasi ama mahali pazuri pa kufanyia biashara yao.
Hawa wananchi na wafanyabiashara ndio wapiga kura wetu, ni wakazi wa Kenya, wana haki ya kutendewa kazi na hawajali nani atakayetenda kazi, iwe ni serikali kuu ama serikali ya ugatuzi. Bora ni soko ziwe safi, wafanyie biashara mahali safi.
Nitatuma salamu nyingine kwa hii group.
Now, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, has banned East Africa Legislative Member of Parliament, Fadla Iman Deko, from accessing Parliament buildings for the next 90 days. ODM-nominated MP Umul Kera Harun, who was involved in a fight with Deko, issued a public apology, but Wetangula says she's not off the hook yet. The two were filmed engaging in a catfight within Parliament buildings in a video that has since gone viral, with a section of legislators pointing a finger at Tigania East Member of Parliament Mpuru Aburi as a source of that particular clip.
Parliament grounds on Tuesday afternoon turned into a battleground for two female legislators. From a video circulating on social media, nominated Member of Parliament Umul Khair Harun and Ayala Member of Parliament Falhada Iman Deko can be seen engaging in a heated physical confrontation. Other female MPs are seen trying to separate the two, but all their efforts were in vain. The Sergeant-at-Arms intervened successfully and separated the fighting MPs. The incident has since drawn the attention of the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula.
Yes, but you want to fight? It's an honorable fight. Yes, Umulher.
Who gave a ruling against the two legislators.
I'm inclined to first accord the nominated member, Honorable Mulher, the opportunity to explain herself and whatever explanation she gives, also to apologize to the House. In the meantime, Honorable Falhada is forthwith precluded from accessing the precincts of Parliament, Parliament buildings and facilities for a period of 90 days.
While issuing an apology to the House, Khair termed the incident unfortunate, adding that she deeply regrets it.
And I apologize and regret yesterday's unfortunate incident.
East Africa Legislative Assembly, Ayala Member of Parliament Falhada Iman Deko has issued a public apology on the unfortunate incident as well.
Jana kilitokea ilikuwa very shameful.
With the matter being investigated, it is unclear why the two legislators resorted to a physical brawl.
During our conversation, I inquired from Honorable Falhada about incidences where she had personally attacked me and abused me in public forums and social media, as well as extending her verbal insults to my extended family. I was seeking audience with her to find the truth, not anticipating that she would throw a cup of tea at me.
Then this lady, Member of Parliament, she came up to me, walking towards me whilst I was seated. Akaanza kusema something in Somali, which I didn't capture because it was just quick. And she said, I heard you talk about my dad, blah, blah, and then akanigonga na handbag alikuwa naye.
However, the Speaker has vowed to take action against the legislator responsible for recording the video clip that has since gone viral.
The issue of recording is being investigated by Parliamentary Police and the Sergeant-at-Arms.
I noticed Honorable Mpuri was recording the video.
And I saw who recorded. And I thought, because he's an experienced member of Parliament, he will not release it.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Women Senators Association has called for restraint in handling the brawl witnessed.
We don't support any form of violence or any form of expression that goes towards blows and kicks as a means of communication.
Ni mambo ambayo yamefanyika na yametendeka, na si kwamba yametendeka tu kwa viongozi wa kike. Tumeona Machakos viongozi wamepigana.
I don't know if I should comment or weigh in on that. And anyway, it happened, but then we've had handbags and tea was involved in that scuffle. All right, let's speak business now. Central Bank of Kenya has dismissed claims of currency manipulation, attributing the shilling stability to targeted policy interventions and prudent monetary management. CBK Governor Kamau Thuge says a strong balance of payments, solid export base and capital inflows are some of the factors supporting the Kenyan unit, which has hovered around 120 shillings to the dollar for months now, despite worsening global geopolitics.
Kenya's economy continues to demonstrate resilience, with the shilling remaining relatively stable against the US dollar in recent months, despite ongoing global markets and currency volatility. In the last 7 months, the shilling has been trading at 129 to the dollar, despite the ongoing global trade war between the US and leading economic powers like China and the European Union. Central Bank of Kenya Governor Dr. Kamau Thuge attributes the stabilization of the exchange rate to deliberate policy measures and improved overall balance of payments.
Very good performance in terms of exports. We've had good performance in terms of travel receipts, and we've had good performance in the current account. So I think taking all that into account, we feel that there's no need for a stronger shilling, and there's no need for a weaker shilling. I think we're just at the right place.
Thuge says the recently imposed 10% reciprocal tariff by the United States will have minimal impact on the Kenyan economy, though exports to the US are likely to drop by close to $100 million.
It's still relatively small compared to, of course, our GDP. Our GDP is north of $122 billion. So I do think that the impact of the higher tariffs on the economy will be muted by the expansion on the aggregate demand side, whether it's the private sector increase in both consumption and investment.
On the domestic front, the governor expressed concerns over the rising level of non-performing loans, which now stands at 17.2%, urging commercial banks to increase lending to the private sector.
I think that process of getting rid of the road sector pending bills should also have an impact on the NPLs, because some of the NPLs are actually in the construction sector.
The CBK governor further says National Treasury and the International Monetary Fund are negotiating a loan facility with Kenya to ease supply-side pressures. On the state of the domestic banking market, CBK says it is conducting on-site inspections on risk-based pricing for all commercial lenders in the country with mixed results.
Well, that effectively puts a cap on Matters News this morning. Some of the stories that we are keeping tabs on is the ongoing IEBC interviews, as well as that particular outbreak in Wajir that has so far claimed the lives of 33 individuals, as government maintains that it is going to contain the spread. Also on Matters Health, there is a cholera outbreak, so whatever you do, keep your hands clean. Use water and soap to keep away from, contaminating your food or what you're taking in light of these developments. I'm Regina Manyera. This is Entertainment Thursday, so do keep it right here. Have a great day ahead.
From the bliss of new beginnings to the trials of commitment, this is a celebration of resilience, passion, and the power of togetherness. Join us as we unravel real-life stories, because every journey deserves to be cherished, for better, for worse, on KBC Channel 1.
Are you a talented artist, or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Usafi umegawanyika sampuli mbili: at-taharatu al-ma'nawiyya ay al-qalbiyya, usafi wa kimoyo, na pia at-taharatu al-badaniyya al-hissiyya, bimaana usafi wa kimwili. Kwa sasa Muislamu lazima ajipambe na vitu hivi vyote viwili, aonekane ndani na nje, aonekane kuwa ni msafi.
Usafi wa moyo unapatikana kwa kumcha Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, kujiepusha na makatazo ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, na vile vile pia kuondoa chuki, wivu na unafiki, ama mambo yote ambayo yanaweza kuharibu imani ya mja.
Indeed, you're watching Entertainment Thursday right here on Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwet. As earlier promised, our first conversation revolves around social media. Should it be regulated, given that it has become quite a big platform for communication, businesses, and even cyber security? But then again, it has also provided a space where hate speech, cyberbullying, and misinformation is thriving. So the big question today is, should we regulate social media, especially in the country? I have a panel of 3 young gentlemen who are joining me for this conversation. On my far left is Eric Musembi, who is a youth leader. Welcome to the program.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Pleasure to be here. It's Edwin Musembi.
Yes.
I'm a youth leader in Kenya.
Okay. Mike yako naambia iko na shida kidogo, utatengenezewa. Then we also have Alo Denish. Karibu sana.
Thank you and good morning.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
And also we have Peterson Mirishi, who is a political research analyst. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Mvua imechapa Nairobi sawa sawa.
We thank God for the blessing.
Okay, let's get into it. We are talking matters social media, and I want to just get a feel of Your thoughts? Should we regulate social media? Let me start with you, Danish.
Yes, good morning once again, and it's another great honor to be here. And I want to say that the topic today is actually at the very heart of our digital future. And I also want to say that this debate is basically not about just social media. It's about the balance between freedom and responsibility, tech innovation and integrity. Kenya's digital future is promising, but it's also facing challenges. On one hand, we face urgent needs, urgent concerns, misinformation and hate speech, cyberbullying, technology-facilitated gender-based violence. We are also facing exploitation of children and vulnerable population, and even erosion in electoral integrity, as we've witnessed in the previous elections. But on the other hand, it also lies the very ideals that we cherish: freedom of expression, digital empowerment, digital entrepreneurship and creative innovation, and a loud, broad space where young voices can rise. So according to me, it's not about chaos and control. Freedom and responsibility should not be enemies. They are dance partners. We need freedom to guide, not to gag. And therefore, I think the question today is, who should control and to what extent? Yes.
Peter, let me engage your thoughts on this. What do you think? Should we regulate social media in Kenya today?
Okay, the debate on regulating social media is a debate that we need to look at it from different dimensions. We need to, first of all, look at where is it coming from.
Yes.
Because I think the people who are pushing for regulation of social media are not even the highest users of social media. There are people, most of them you see are in top of issues in government, who maybe joined social media the other day, came in, posted some few things that went and rubbed young people the wrong way, and they got some backlash. And because of that backlash, they think that we need to regulate social media. But social media, in this era and dispensation, is not just about the things that we write on a day-to-day basis. Social media is a platform for business for young people, is a platform for young people to express themselves in the rawest form. Just like during the 80s and the 90s, where people are going to the streets, people are going to Kamukunjis to talk their things in the rawest and the purest form of the ideas. Nowadays, it's social media. Because you understand, in this day and era, we don't have the freedom anymore to caucus out there. Because every time we join hands together, if 10 to 15 people are seen walking together in town, immediately there's a Land Cruiser there tear-gassing you. So where do we run to? We run to social media. So if you gag us on social media, if you come and try to regulate from the government perspective, because in Kenya, when it's the government talking about regulation, we literally know what they mean. They literally want to curtail that freedom. So if we allow that, then we will be going against the freedoms that are enshrined in our constitution.
Okay, he has talked about freedoms. Edwin, what do you think? Should it be regulated?
No, it shouldn't be regulated. And I'd agree to some extent with what they have said. Because this, first of all, this narrative came, or the first statement was made by the CS for Interior Affairs, Murkomen, when he said that social media should be regulated. Then later, Atwoli and the rest came up with it. But again, I saw them saying social media platforms like X should have a physical entity so that now they can track. And the excuse that they give is that they want to filter misinformation and information, which is very true, but the track record of politicians and from the back of our minds, we understand that they want to infringe on the rights of Kenyans and introduce this sort of draconian laws, and where you cannot question what is happening in the nation, you cannot question a certain regime. So that is pure dictatorial mindset, and social media should not be regulated. There are already existing acts that are in place. The Cyber Security Act of 2018 has all those provisions that they're saying that they want to bring upon misinformation and all. It's already there. So why not enforce what is already there and let alone these other narratives that they are pushing? So I feel like social media should not be regulated. And we learn from other countries. We learn from even North Korea, where there is total shutdown. You cannot even, platforms like Facebook are not even there, WhatsApp and all that. So we don't want to go there as a country. We are so much evolved, and let us just let people express themselves. People know what is right and what is wrong. And in fact, they should actually provide for civic education, just enlighten people on how to use social media well, because they are already existing laws. So all these other things are just propaganda.
There's something, Alo, that Peter here mentioned, expressing yourself in the rawest form. But then again, there's the question of censorship, personal censorship. How should we go about it?
Yes, I think the greatest worry here is that regulation can really slip into government censorship and government overreach. But I want us, first of all, to be very clear. True freedom does not mean absence of laws. It only means fairness, safety, and dignity for all. We are not, the answer to this solution is not blind control. Neither is the answer careless freedom. We are calling shots from both sides. We need regulation, because what will you tell those who have suffered from cyberbullying? What will you tell those who have been subject to privacy, digital privacy infringement? So there are good things that really deserve regulations to actually protect. But freedom really requires vigilance, and these regulations should really be controlled. So the question is, who should control, and to what extent? You see, there's talks about the government here. What I can tell you, Mike, is that a knife in the hands of a chef feeds a nation. The same knife in the hands of a tyrant spills blood. The problem is not the tool, it's the intent behind it. The problem is not regulations, it's the intent behind the regulating authority. If we tailor our regulations towards curbing digital harm, but protecting freedom of expression and encouraging digital innovation, then it is something good to go by. But again, if we leave digital platform really unregulated, it can really grow into a digital jungle where the children and the vulnerable population will really be subject to manipulation and exploitation. Yes.
You know, there's the aspect of protecting the user and also avoiding say what you would call overreach by the government. How should that balance go by, Peter?
You see, social media did not come to Kenya yesterday. It has been here since early 2007, 2008. And nobody has had a problem with social media, and nobody saw it fit to regulate social media until around March last year, when people started dissecting the Finance Bill 2024 on social media, started caucusing and planning how to turn up for the streets on social media, started hosting these spaces where even the president was hosted. You see, that was where this talk about wanting to regulate social media came in. Why? Because unlike the traditional means where people are going to Javanji and the police could control them, on social media, the government literally doesn't know how to control Kenyans who are on social media. We have cyber crimes law. If someone has committed a cyber crime, there are laws to govern that. There are laws on what should be done. There are people who have been jailed for conning people on social media. There are people who have been jailed for incitement on social media. We have seen even some of our politicians getting called to EACC, to the what are they called? The NCIC, something? Because they posted something on social media. So there are laws to regulate social media. So whatever it is that the government people, the Minister of Interior, NIS Director General are talking about is not regulating social media as per se. If they were to be asked today what really they want, their raw idea on what they want, they would just say, shut them down. Let nobody talk on social media. Watu wakitaka kuongea, wacha wapatane mahali, tutawaangalia na tusikize vile wanasema. That's the problem.
But if, let's say, if you are to regulate social media, does it mean that the people's voice is suppressed in terms of expressing themselves where they feel necessary?
Yes, actually it will lead to total suppression. An example would be even when the president or the CSs issued remarks that tutawakujia. There's a CS who's mentioned that tutawakujia, we are monitoring you. To some extent, those threats actually stopped some people from tweeting. There are people who used to whistleblow. They stopped whistleblowing because maybe they thought that they'd be abducted. But again, what I can say is once regulation starts, it cannot stop. So the moment we'll start regulating, or what they purport as regulating, it will not stop. And there's no really a basis, as my brother is saying. This thing was not, social media did not start yesterday. Why was it not regulated in 2013 or 14? Why was it regulated? Why is this conversation coming after the March protest? It's more of we don't want to be questioned. Leaders don't want to be held accountable. And if social media actually was to be regulated, I would not trust the government to actually regulate it. I would trust independent bodies to actually regulate the social media. There's a point that my brother also has mentioned. It's about leaders being trolled and people being subjected to harassment. I usually say this: if you subject yourself, people cannot attack what they don't know. So if you have actually put or you have stepped up in a public office, you are subject to public scrutiny. People will want to know. Like, for example, you're a public figure. Now people want to know even who you're dating, people who want to know also where you stay, people want to know how much you earn. They'll do a research, for example, a minister. People can easily trace how you earn. Now if people now question, how are you affording these vehicles? That is not harassment. You are a public officer, and anyone subjected to the limelight, you're subject to public scrutiny. So that is just one of the fundamental laws in social media.
But shouldn't there be a way that even if, yes, you want to express your views on something, shouldn't it be done in a manner that is respectful?
Yes, and that's why I was saying the government should focus on civic education, not regulation. Because if you're now regulating, like for example, some of the service providers we have, they were leaking information on where you are. So they should focus on civic education, enlighten the youth. Because people, for example, the first time you got a smartphone, nobody taught you how to use a smartphone, nobody taught you how to chat. You've just been learning it through socialization. So you've actually introduced maybe a subject or a short course on teaching people. That is actually an initiative that can thrive and an initiative that people would support. But I would not trust the government also in that. So,
okay, all right. Now, Alo, do you think social media has done more good than harm in Kenya?
Absolutely. Social media has been has given actually the voiceless a microphone. So regulation cannot be the mute button. For a very long time, only people in authority have had space to express themselves and to exert authority. But you see, we've come to the age where information cannot be hidden. And we've come to the age where the whistleblowers, the activists, the bloggers are empowered. And therefore, that could be the greatest fear of the government. But my worry is who is to control or who is to regulate. I agree with my brother here. Regulation, according to me, is necessary, and it is not that we don't have the cybercrime laws and acts in place. There are already laws and regulations that actually protect use of social media.
Yes.
I think the problem is enforcement. So when we are talking about this thing, is like we are talking like there are new laws that we are really going to initiate. The question is, have we really enforced the laws and have we really enforced the acts that are there? Maybe to some extent, maybe partially. What has happened in the past is that the government has used the existing laws to silence dissenting voices, which should not be the case. The laws and the regulations should be partially applied. So I want to say that there should be an independent oversight digital regulation authorities that involves the tech companies, the people, the youths, and the public in place, so that we have impartiality in terms of implementation of regulation. But we cannot leave the digital space to lawlessness or some form of anarchy, because maybe it is not even the people in government that will be harmed more, but the vulnerable. My concern is really for the vulnerable that have really been subject or victims of cyberbullying. Yes.
Speaking of law, Peter, in terms of looking at the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act, we're talking of enforcement, but is it sufficient?
Yes, I think the cyber crimes laws are sufficient to curb any wrongdoing on social media, on our social media platforms. So my concern at this point is actually when people say that we need to regulate social media, I would like for someone, because I have heard Francis Atwoli talk about we need to regulate social media. I would like for him to tell us how does he intend, when he says we want to regulate social media, what exactly does he mean? You see, when you just make a vague statement, we need to regulate social media, you also need to tell us, are you telling us we need to enforce the cyber crimes laws, or you want to introduce new laws, or what do you mean? Because the laws that we have currently are enough. If someone can insult you on social media, you take them to court and they are fined up to 1 million, or they go to prison for up to 5 years. What more do you need? You don't need anything extra, because anything by that, or anything by that punishment that you're given is actually now going against any tenets of human dignity. So we need to expound on what exactly do they mean when they say we need to regulate social media.
Do you think it would be fair if it's regulated? Would it be fair, or people should just be given some level of latitude to use social media and include some level of self-censorship?
Not per se, but it depends on what the regulation means. No, regulation is an ambiguous statement. It could mean to a wide range of things. So, for example, you know, when you install a social media app, you install maybe TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, the app asks you for permission. So, if regulation, for example, means making sure that these social media platforms adhere to the permissions that they have said, for example, you might find you're sleeping and TikTok maybe has just switched on the microphone. So it's hearing your conversations. You know, those are situations that can actually risk the nation. And that's why you find maybe TikTok is facing a potential ban in the US because of maybe such tapping into privacy of people's lives. So if regulation means maybe protecting the user in terms of the app maybe does not sell your data for advertisements, you realize maybe we were talking here about safari, going to a safari in the Masai Mara. Then you just look at your phone, you realize an ad, Masai Mara trip, 27,000.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we need to be talking about in terms of regulation, but not in terms of censorship. Let just people talk what they want. Focus on civic education. If you have an enlightened nation and you have an educated nation, you don't have to censor people. Again, social media is a career opportunity for many Kenyans. So many youths, the Gen Zs, depend on social media for job. Now, if you say your censorship, how is Awoko going to get a job? How is she going to get employed? And maybe others who maybe talk on or discuss issues that do not need censorship. They just need raw facts as it is. If you stole money, do not try to sugarcoat it.
Yes.
Yes. So
you know, we are talking of civic education on these matters to do with social media. But then again, a law, who is supposed to carry out this civic education?
Exactly, that is the question. And I think government really has a responsibility in doing that, being that they are part of the regulatory bodies, or they are the enforcers of some of the regulations that guide social media. You cannot enforce a regulation or a law on something that you've not educated the users on. Yes, so I also think that as much as we talk about digital literacy, remember we are dealing with a generation that is fairly literate. Majority of the current generation, the millennials and the Gen Zs, who are the most users of the digital space, are fairly literate. They are literate actually. And therefore what they need maybe is awareness in some cases. Awareness, the extent to which they can use the digital space without conflicting the laws of the land. And this, I think we should inculcate a culture that does not begin at this moment. Let it begin, let it be part of our education system. Because you see, technology is something that is catching up with us. Maybe it was not there when we were in school, but currently it is there. Do we wait until the current alpha generation grow until they start being much into digital spaces when we start educating them? No. I think our system and education system should be always up to date, able to incorporate the arising trends into the current education system, such that as the young generation go through school and exit, these are some of the things that should have been captured in their learning processes, so that they know as they start actively using the social media spaces, they know their digital rights, they know what is not really a right but an infringement of other people's spaces. Yes, I think that is what should be done.
Do you think even, I'll come to you, but do you think social media users in Kenya really understand it's anything to do with the Cybercrimes Act?
Okay, there are cases where we might actually say the majority of Kenyans maybe are not even aware about the Cybercrimes Act.
Yes.
But again, whose responsibility is it for them to know? You see, a government should continuously conduct civic education on laws that it's passing, on laws that are proposed in Parliament. There are bodies that are tasked specifically with civic education. So we cannot blame the people for not being aware of the different laws and regulations that we have in the country. You see, there are these laws against gender-based violence, and these laws against cases of rape. If you ask any random Kenyan on the street, a young girl is passing, maybe a high school kid. If you ask any Kenyan in the streets, look at that girl, they will tell you outrightly, why, hiyo ni kifungo ya miaka 30, siwezi jaribu. Why? Because this topic has been talked about on and on and on until all Kenyans everywhere know that it's a crime to be involved with young girls who are in school and any other minor. So it should be the same for social media, but it is not the people who should be starting this conversation. It should start from the media, from the government agencies, because you cannot just put a blanket condemnation and say we will regulate social media. Even with that, nothing will stop, because unless now you go the Uganda way. I was in Uganda, I think 3 months ago, and my Facebook suddenly stopped working. it was not working. I could not access Facebook. I thought my phone had a problem.
Yes.
Yes, I started the phone so many times before someone told me, huku Facebook saa hii imefungwa. So I did not understand. So I think that's what our politicians want to happen here. Yes. Because unless they start the conversation on if you insult someone on social media, this is what will happen. If you do this, this is what will happen. You see, it starts inculcating in people's minds and also downscale it to our schools. Before these kids get out of Form 4, they know. Because when I was in high school, we were told time and again, when around Form 3, Form 4, mjue sasa mnaenda kumaliza shule. Ukishatoka huko nje, forget about others who you've left here. Yes. So tukitoka shule, we had the mindset that now that I am out of high school, I am an adult. I cannot touch anyone who is in high school. Yes. So it should be the same with social media. We should downscale it to our schools, to the population, everywhere. The way we are talking about SHA, the way we are talking about higher education, new funding model, is the same way we should be talking about social media and how to use it responsibly. And that way, self-regulation will come automatically.
Nini, should we just, should that responsibility, I know you wanted to contribute to what Alo had said, but also, as you do that, should that responsibility of civic education be left to the government only?
Totally not. It's everybody's right to educate their neighbor. Love your neighbor and educate them. But again, we have the Ministry of ICT. That is its work. That is the work they should be doing. They should be they have a budget, they have a monopoly of budget that can be used to educate. They also have ICT hubs in each county. What is the work? I studied computer studies. There's only one page of the cyber crimes. They just mentioned the cyber crimes. So why don't they restructure the curriculum so that people can understand what exactly is in the act, or certain measures to educate people on social media instead of name types of Cyber Crimes Act. So types you don't need to go to study computer studies to understand that, but they should actually entail and revise the content in high school so that even when kids, when they are coming from high school, they know some of the things they should and should not do. The ministry, again, the people who are there, the PS and the whole scale should be leaders or members who have actually studied something in relation to ICT, software engineering or something. They are digitally literate so that they can actually conduct this civic education. NGOs and bodies, their responsibility. For example, I'm a member of, I'm conducting a campaign by Amnesty, digital first, privacy first campaigners. We're enlightening people about how their data could actually be sold. So that is, I'm actually conducting civic education. So if other bodies can participate in civic education, then well and good. So the government should focus more on enlightenment, and the way they are spreading, they are supporting this SHA. Let also other leaders come and support the brand or recruitment of even qualified people to educate, because social media, we're in a digital era, and now AI will reach a point even where you cannot distinguish real images and AI images. Why don't they focus on enlightening people on that instead of just infringing on people's rights? So the government also has a very large portion to take, and it should use the right measures. Atwoli, who studied business administration, should not be the one talking about social media management and regulation. So let them use the right protocol. That's the work of the minister and the right of...
Okay, now, Alo, you know, how should the approach be? Because we are talking about this civic education. If you're enlightening, especially the youth, because they are the major demographic that use social media, how should the approach be without making them feel like they're being suppressed to express themselves?
Yes, I think, and that's what he was talking about. There's a thin line between regulation and digital dictatorship and censorship. So I think, as we have said before, for the younger generation, the approach should begin in lower lower classes. I mean, in the primary level to the secondary level, so that as we've learned other things as part of our studies through our growth, but we realize that during our studies, things to do with the Cyber Crimes Act were really not really measured on. They were not part of our curriculum, or they were mentioned superficially. So I think it is the time that the government should really enforce this into being part of the curriculum. As we study other laws of the government, you know, throughout your education system, somebody already knows that if I do this, I will be jailed. Did they include part of the Cyber Crimes Act in that? No, they didn't. So I think we should really entrench it into our curriculum, so that it appears as part of learning process, that as someone grows into an adult, and a free adult for that matter, he knows the values and the integrity that involves the cyber use and the social media spaces, so that it doesn't appear like it is infringing on the right of expression. But again, it depends on which laws are in place. We are living in a literate world. When the laws in place that you are educating people simply point to digital dictatorship, they will see. And so, first of all, let us ensure that these laws, these regulations are really transparent. They are tailored towards protecting the user rather than protecting the oppressor. They are tailored towards actually empowering users of the digital space in terms of creativity, rather than protecting the government from accountability. With that also, if you educate people on something that is really beneficial to them, that they see is really protecting their data privacy, that is protecting the vulnerable from exploitation, and that is also protecting the children from exploitation, something that really empowers digital entrepreneurship. Who wouldn't like that? But if you want to educate us and educate the public against talking about such and such a politician who has looted the public funds, and definitely I will feel that is not regulation. That is digital dictatorship, and I will not go for it. So first of all, let the laws be fair, transparent. Let there be clear penalties and appeal processes for those who have committed cyber crimes. And in the eyes of everyone, they will see the laws are meant to protect and not to harm. Yes.
Peter, what do you think? These platforms, the community guidelines, are they doing enough, or should there be government intervention?
Okay, from where I stand, I think the platforms should be self-guiding. They should moderate. The platforms actually employ so many content moderators who are tasked with filtering out what we see on the user interface of social media. Yes. And there is so much we don't see. I have worked before as a data labeler, and I have worked as a content moderator at some point. Yes. And there is a lot that we don't see on social media. There is so much that people post that don't get to the end user. And so these platforms are actually self-regulating, and it's an economy on its own of regulating content. But I will say this, I'm quite disappointed and actually frustrated that in an era where the Global AI Summit just ended the other day in Rwanda, where ministers of ICT and tech people in the tech industry were converging in Rwanda, discussing about how we can upscale AI in Africa and ushering in the age of robotics in Africa. Our government, and I'm talking about this because Kenya has been a trendsetter, was going around sending people to media houses to actually talk about how we can regulate social media. We need to have a better conversation, and this is not it. We cannot just go around circles on how we can regulate social media in an era where we should be empowering our young people to take advantage of AI, to take advantage of robotics, where we should be upscaling our curriculum in schools to tell people that you're free you're free to exercise your imagination. It's very frustrating that we are killing that imagination and creativity by selling fear and trying to intimidate people because they called out some malpractices from those in positions of power. It's quite frustrating, and I feel we can do better. And when our government started talking about upscaling ICT and digital hubs and digital hubs, I thought finally we are growing. We are now past the era where we can start thinking of something as backward as regulations on social media because someone was told you are corrupt. It's not the kind of conversation you should be having at this point in time.
All right. I want to take this as your closing remarks. What do you see? Where do you see Kenyan social media space within the next 5 to 10 years? Let me start with you.
In the next 5 or 10 years, social media will be a very important tool in mobilization, in employment, because many of the youths will have employed themselves, will not need to go to work. Social media will have grown immensely, and I foresee a situation where there'll be no limitation or no censorship. Let people talk how they want, just have character and don't infringe. I also foresee a situation whereby Kenya will have tapped into robotics. I was recently, last year, I was in Rwanda and I saw they've even employed robots in the highways.
Wow.
So I foresee a way we can actually use such robotics and AI to actually our advantage. We also see a situation where posters are done by AI. All these things that require human effort are done by AI, and it's very easy. We can even have apps that monitor election, live streaming of elections. I foresee a digitalized and a process that has been simplified for the Kenyan youths at large.
Hello.
Thank you. It's undeniably true that Kenya's future is digital. And because we are in the AI technology, I foresee the upcoming of new social media platforms and even new apps. But let us remember one thing. Social media is not just a tool. It's a mirror. It really reflects who we are as a society, and sometimes what we fear to confront. And so we reject the extremes. We reject digital anarchy. We reject digital dictatorship. What we need is a middle path of mindful governance that safeguards freedoms while shielding citizens from digital harm. Because laws, the best laws do not speak louder than the voice of the people, but rather they complement the voice of the people. So let us build a society or a future where everyone is free and safe, loud but lawful.
Yes.
Connected but conscious. Yes.
Nice. Peterson.
Okay, in the next 5 to 10 years, I foresee a situation where we will usher in a new era of information age that will be catalyzed by social media. Most of the traditional ways of passing information might be phased out, sorry to say that. Those that will not adapt to this new age, because even as it stands right now, you might notice that most of your viewers are viewers who are watching from social media platforms, and YouTube X, on your Spaces, Facebook Live. So people are moving away from the traditional, I want to sit in front of a television and watch, but I want to watch as I move. So we will usher in a new era of passing information, and if the government doesn't adapt, it will also risk being left behind. And so far, the reason why you can see this idea of regulating social media is because the government also has been passed about, because how comes people don't know about the cyber regulations? It's because the government way of communicating things through the Gazette notice is a little bit outdated.
Okay.
They need to change that to something that everybody can relate to,
All right.
including the largest percentage of the population,
Okay.
which is the young people.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time. It was a good conversation, and we hope to continue speaking about these things, and I hope to invite you again. That is Edwin Muzembe, who is a youth leader, Aloha Danish, who is also a youth leader, and Peterson Mirichi, who is a political research analyst, gracing our studios to talk about the issue of regulating social media. We end this conversation here. But don't go too far. I'll be back with yet another conversation. Stay with us.
Huyu karani, huyu sijui ni karani ama
anakuchoma na nini?
Ananichoma na hichi pala. Wewe ni hiyo chichwa vile na meremeta.
Yeye ameenda akatoboa septic tank ya mtu mwingine akajaza ya jirani.
Kuna wakati nileta Hanisaka ikuje leta uchafu kwa septic yanga.
Ayu Anisaka.
Ati?
Ayu Anisaka. Did I any confirmation of
wewe
amechanganyikiwa na maisha mheshimiwa.
Wewe ndio umechanganyikiwa.
Unafanya
nini huko ukifanya kama ujenzi wa taifa hivi?
Ama chop winners mheshimiwa. Chop winners.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tutajifunza kuhusu kilimo katika maeneo kame. Kisha tuangazie kilimo mjini.
Vijana wache kuchagua kazi, wajitume, wakoe kwa wafanye tu kitu inasaidia tu. Ile kidogo tunafanya, washikane mkono, wapate mfano mawazo badala ya kushinda kuenda kuiba, fanya pumbawa, kuja washikane mkono, washike jembe, wapande mboga, matunda yatatokea baadaye.
Usikose kujumuika nami Francis Ngala siku ya Jumamosi saa 10:30 upate mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Today we want to look at what would happen if the energy that the youth carry will be diverted to something constructive. This is not to say that all they do is destructive, but just looking at what about if we focus all this energy and see what kind of a nation we are going to create.
At the end of the day, God requires us to serve him in a young age. When you have the energy to do that, when you have the strength to do that, not when you are old, ndio unaanza kuamka, let me go and serve God, because you think death is near, so that's why you want to serve God. How strong are you? How strong are you? How strong is your Christianity? Ile kwa ya ukweli ama ile uongo? Because kama ni kwa ya ukweli, no matter what happens, the chokers of life, the peer pressures, the issues of life, the influence of this life, zikikuwa affect, at the end of the day, you know, cross, you have to keep on looking at it.
Jukunazo semangeo kitu ni cliche.
Welcome back. We get into yet another conversation right here on Entertainment Thursday, and we are talking about music, humanity, love, everything. And in studio, I'm joined by Brown Monyoroku, who is the national chairman and founder and visionary leader of Brown Records Entertainment, Love, Social Justice, and Humanitarian Journey. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And thank you for inviting me here.
Yes.
And to talk about love and music and humanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
When you talk about music, humanity, love, and social justice, what informs that?
Basically, it's a movement that we've started in the last 1 year. And it comes to raise the voices of the disadvantaged in the community. We are nurturing talent from the youth through the arts and also creating spaces for love and dialogue. By that I mean we are organizing concerts, and in these concerts we are hosting different members of the community, including business people, the government also, and any relevant institution that can shed light and educate the community on the issues that are affecting us. For example, just recently, February, we had our concert in Wasingishu, the first one, where we were graced by different institutions, including the Law Society of Kenya, CMD, which is an organization, non-governmental organization, and institutions that brought a lot of education to the community in terms of interactions.
Okay, all right. Let's take a little musical break, and then we'll come back to get into this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a very good throwback, and you can rest assured there is more coming in this Entertainment Thursday. And Brown, we are talking about music, humanity, love, and social justice. But what is the power of purpose-driven entertainment?
Nowadays, you have this field of entertainment that has employed a lot of people.
Yes.
And is our way of life.
Yeah.
So the purpose-driven entertainment that we are creating right now, or that we want to shed light to, is we are not just doing entertainment for fun. We are doing entertainment to reach out to people. How do I reach out to the youth, like right now? Through reggae music. We've grown up in estates where we love reggae.
Yes.
And if I can put a reggae show, and in that reggae show, I get to call you,
yes,
and I get to call this other leader in the community, maybe a business person in the community. We do set up of tents and spaces, and we come inside together, communicate, educate one another, and also enjoy the music. So the purpose-driven entertainment here, one, the music is uplifting to the community, and the organization of the event itself, which has civic and community market. Inside that civic and community market, there is educating the community. So at the end of it all, once we went to Eldoret, Wasingishu, and embraced that community and shared 1 or 2, 3 things. Of course, it's a journey that is starting right now. So by the time we get to finish the other 4 counties that we are doing, and we go again next year and another year, we stand a chance to help and heal the community, not only the other way that people are used to, but now musically and uplifting each and everybody.
So what you're saying is that there's an aspect of influence that you're driving. Talk about it.
Yeah, the influence that you are driving here, a lot of the youth are employed by, let's say, community has DJs. The DJs, it's the work that they do, and the MCs, it's the work that they do that support their families and support the community at large. And there are many people who have talents and God has given them, but they don't know, they don't have platforms of exercising what God has given them. So we are creating a platform that can, I was looking at maybe an example of footballers.
Yes.
We are creating a platform that the youth can come, meet with people who organize football, and get to know where somebody can go for sports, get to know where somebody can go for studio, that studio that is cheap, and get to enhance the talents and the arts, through the arts and talents and sports and all that. So the influence part here is that sisi wote as human beings, we know that we have something that God has put in us. And if we share this platform, and if we get the institutions that are governmental, non-governmental, and all the finances institutions that are ready to help talent, then for Brown Records and from Love and Social Justice, we've done our part in the journey of helping each other in this planet.
Unajua, it's not always about creating good music. Kuna hii muziki ya, like, it's not just about kutengeneza muziki inaweza, it's making people feel good, but also talk about the aspect of making music that has positive message to the people. What is the essence of that?
Well, in society right now, I think what we are lacking is love. And music has a way that it talks to each and everyone, to the soul. And it brings out that aspect of love. And we have music types like that old school music, which we've grown with. We have reggae music. We have abaton, genge. The fact that music can reach your soul and bring out the aspect of love is what right now I feel that we should concentrate on, because the temperatures, the climate, especially in our country, right now should head the direction of love.
Yes. Kuna mtu anataka kuingia kwa muziki, but the idea is anataka kuingia kwa muziki atengeneze kakitu.
Yes.
What should be the best approach in all this? Yes, you have talent. But then again, what should be the best approach? Should you see it as a means to an end, or just a way to, like, make people see real issues within the community?
Myself and the team that is behind me, we are concentrating on what God has given you in terms of the arts and talents. If God has inspired you to do music, to help the people, then we are supporting you. If you still want to do it for the money, of course, it's very hard to do it for the money, because from experience and from people I've heard, it has to be an inspiration thing. You just don't come sing, and that's why kuna watu unaonanga walikuja wakaimba nyimbo mbili na wakaisha, because they were not inspired. So us, we want to bring and enhance the inspiration, ndivyo sasa to make the difference in the society.
Na hii aspect ya connecting, let's say, local DJs, musicians with opportunities and platforms, mnaifanyaje?
Kama saa hizi tuna plan kwenda Kisumu in June, and the idea is to bring the reggae family together, our DJs wote. Utapata sio wengi, like 10-15 of them, lakini wakiwa kwa social media peke yao, wanaonekana ni kama wako isolated. What if we can come together and do organized concerts, businesses? Now with that, tunapata ku-influence even the upcoming ones. Kwa sababu the way I look at it, for you to get somewhere, God has to use somebody to pull you to that level. And kuna watu wengi sana sahi wako na talent, but wamekaa tu nyumbani. Hawajui pali wanaweza enda. Hawana direction. Na everybody thinks that maybe the government takuja itusaidie. But the government can only do its part. And then for us now to do the other part. I'm taking reference to where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Watu wanataka kuenda kucheza mpira. Nasema teams like Arsenal, Manchester. Lakini hiyo dream inakaa iko mbali sana. Whereas we can go to the Arab countries. People go to Dubai, Oman, play football, get whatever salaries they are getting. Sio zile kama za Arsenal, but ni livelihood. Yeah. And in our livelihoods, in our communities, tukaweza kuimprove such things. Then tutapata si wote wanaweza toshea kwa direction ya education kwa maofisi. But through the arts and talents, tutasaidiana. And it only takes the first step. Watu wa hii mtaa wakijua mtu wao ameenda hivi. Alafu tupate love. Ya pia ule ameenda kuvuta. That's what we are.
Imesaidiaje? Has it helped in now we are talking about music, humanity and love. Imesaidia to create a community. Have arts now helped in creating such a community?
Well, I would say the idea is there, but the platform publicity is not as expected. Because, as I'm saying, there are very many people who are talented kwa mamita, but they are not exposed. So unapata yeye ni artists, lakini ni wa mtaa tu. There is no that exposure kwa wide scale. Tuko congested. So mimi na team yangu tunajaribu tufanye yetu, to shed light kidogo, and tujaribu tutoke kwa hizi mashida tuko kwazo.
So about the aspect of humanitarian and should it be seen as a ministry per se?
Kwa sababu okay, we have a group that we are targeting. And mostly we are dealing with orphans, the disadvantaged, poor. Na watu wengi tutasema sisi wote ni poor. And mourners na imprisoned, captives, watu wa drugs na nini. Mostly ando na concentrate now. And the ministerial aspect and part of it is that we are practicing true fasting. True fasting. Where being spiritual, natoka kwa feeding the needy, clothing those who do not have, and providing shelter venye tunaweza. So for now, we've partnered with some friends. Tuna donate when we visit these communities. Hatutaki mambo mingi ya highlight, but we make sure we provide food. Na sana sana tumefanya na a representative of Pembe known as Samir. And ndio amekuwa kitusaidia. We go buy bales, tunapatiana food. Tutaanza ingine ya manguo na nini, tunapatiana as we progress. So the ministerial part of it inakuja juu ya hiyo.
Unaweza sema ni impact gani sasa imekuwa so far?
There is a lot to be done. A lot. And the impact iko kwa ground because many families kama saa hizi, not all families eat 3 meals a day. Na hiyo ni kitu ijulikane. Watu wasemangi. In fact, I may not be having the 3 meals, but sitakuambia.
Kuna ile uoga inakuwa.
Kuna kauoga fulani. But that conversation, one day itaanza tu. Jana miss jakula. Huyo mtu mwingine hajakula. Then we start asking ourselves, kwani kunaendelea aje?
Sasa kunalingana ni nani unaenda kuambia sijakula?
Exactly. You see, right now nikasema, jana nilikuwa na shughuli mingi, hata kasapa nililala tu. Nikaamka, nikafanya kazi, tukakuja hapa leo. If it becomes a norm, itatoka. Jiko ndani. Then we'll start asking ourselves a conversation. Because ukienda kwa ground saizi, watu are suffering. There is a challenge, a very big challenge. And this is where mimi nasema, as love and social justice, love here being the true love. There are very many organizations ziko hapa na zinaweza saidia, but zinaangalia direction fulani. Not really looking at the real aspect on the ground. And this is what we are coming to shed light to. Ndivyo sasa tukianza ku amplify what we are doing, now people can start seeing from this perspective how to help one another. Na sana sana hata shida ikuji juu ya ati okay, pesa economically yes, but why? Because of the education. Haujui. Let me give an example. Tulienda Uasin Gishu. Tukaingia duka ya Safaricom. And we're asking what's the number one problem hapa. They're like M-Pesa. And in M-Pesa kuna an institution inaitwa unclaimed assets. Unclaimed assets ndio once hizi pesa unaenda kwa Safaricom wanakuambia they can't help you, ujaze sijui uende sasa kwa unclaimed assets. People don't know unclaimed assets ni nani. These are the kind of things nataka tuleta kwa ground.
So it's some sort of a, in a way there's some sort of a civic education.
Yes, exactly. That's what we are doing. And the reggae part of it is to pull the youth. Wakuje wajijulie mambo 1, 2, 3. Ndivyo tusiimbe sisi wote wimbo the same. We are replacing somebody, bado tuko kwa ile shida. Uta replace another one, bado tuko kwa ile shida.
The cycle continues.
But the Almighty, ambaye sisi wote tuko under him, na tunasikizana hapo kwa Almighty. When it comes to translate the love that me, brother and a sister should have, inakuwa divided by things that tunafaa tutoe. And that is where tunakuja kusema the civic education part itatusaidia, kwa sababu ukijua si lazima uende usebe government, unaweza enda uingia unclaimed assets na umalize mambo yako. Tutakuwa tumemaliza shida moja.
Because your service actually iko. When watu wajui about it.
In fact, the concept that tunafanya, LSK are giving us pro bono services.
Wow.
They have accepted to do that. So wale watu wanatushida kidogo kama tule tutapatiwa pro bono. Si hiyo ni shida tumesettle. Na tukitoka kwa hiyo community, 1 or 2, 3 people wamesaidika. Hawatasema ati the government inasumbua, ama hawatasema, because some of these things are not related entirely. Ni ile tu hatujui vitu zingine.
Umefanya series ngapi so far?
We've done the first one. Now we are doing the second one. And it's having its challenges, but we are happy that we are moving on. The interactions with the communities is there. And we are hoping for the best.
Is it reggae music alone ama hizi genres zingine bado ziko?
Basically, during the day, it's a free session where kuna open civic and community market. Hizo ni tents, number booths, and people come. We are lining up local artists who perform during the day. So during the day, the music is all calibers. But sasa kuna the night part. So the night part sasa ni reggae music. And pia hiyo like the Eldoret one, tulikuwa na DJ Stano na MC Junior Dread.
The one and only.
The one and only. Na ilikuwa mzuri sana. Na tulikuwa na a wonderful time there. We had their local DJs, tulienda tukachukua DJs wote. And that is what also we are planning to do for Kisumu. But of course hizi vitu zote zina need money and to support it. So we are having that conversation with sponsors and well-wishers. And we believe so far it's looking pretty well and we thank God for it. Na sasa tunaendelea tu tukiona how well tutaendelea mbele.
Acha tumalizie na hii. 30 seconds. How do you see love as a tool for whatever you're saying is a revolution to enhance communities?
I do read the Bible.
Yes.
Na nasema there are 3 things, faith, hope and love. And love being the greatest.
Yes.
I also know that love is God. So the revolution here we are bringing ni hiyo love, the true sincere love.
Yes.
That I do not have to go somewhere, I donate, na my brother here naona, I can give the 50 shillings hapa.
Yeah.
Ama nimbaie lunch hapa.
Yes.
But the freedom of mind,
yes,
ikuje ati, the guidance is coming from God.
Yeah.
And the true love is that I can help you without even lying to you. Na hii haikuji tu in terms of finances.
Yeah.
Kulingana na age tumepitia, pia sisi tunadanganyana sana.
Yeah.
In terms of even relationships.
Okay.
You know that you want this,
yeah,
but you are saying this.
Okay.
And then tunaleta hiyo disharmony.
Right.
So the love ndio tunataka tuitumie hivi.
All right. Asante sana for making time to come on Good Morning and to talk about these things. Yeah. That is Brown Munyoroku Karaoke, who is the national chairman, founder and visionary leader of Brown Records Entertainment. This is where we put a full stop to this conversation. Entertainment Thursday continues shortly with Vivian Dego. My name is Mike Migwe. Stay with us.
Ima na wendo mwingi tugikuthokia Embu County, the land of opportunities. Kambunene ya Ngemi FM mushi worata.
Twigagure na kamwetha kama viumeto. Muroro kiande tukunye maire na murori tuthie thokore besa mivukore cha
manje makiyara uranje mure cietu cia thitima na ronje ruwathagana nyamu cia kithaka igitugemeria bururi wetu wa mbere Embu County. Ngemi FM tikomuno tukianirira na mugambo munene. Eno ni
Ngemi FM
musie wa urata.
Eno ni nyumba nene
musie wa urata.
Ngemi FM 103.5.
Kwa nini tuandike na mate ilhali wino uliokolea wa samawi na mweusi upo?
Elimu ni taa inayoangaza giza linalojitokeza, ni chemichemi ya maarifa inayotoa mvua ya busara.
Soko ya vipaji yamejaa.
Katika maisha hii, watu wengi sana wanatumia talanta yao ili kupata riziki, kama vile densi. Wengi wao tunaona kwenye televisheni na mtandao. Hapo ndipo wanapata riziki na chakula cha kila siku.
Kwa hivyo talanta inalipa. Unakubaliana Rashid?
Uhaba wa fursa. Kuna watu ambao wako na talanta lakini sio wote hupaswa upata kujulikana.
Tunga sentensi yoyote ile kwa kuzingatia kivumishi cha a unganifu.
Commit a crime and I'll be your surrender. I wish I could be your saliva, so that I could taste your lips whenever. I envy your hipster, vile inakushika kwa kwa kweli manzi umebarikiwa, ndio maana tunaimba hallelujah. I wish I could be your shoe, I would have such a beautiful view. And if I was the slit on your dress, my goal in life would be to aim for the highest. If only I could be your body lotion, I would walk with undivided devotion. Kila siku nakufikiria, ndio maana nasinzia. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Kila siku ya kalenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza.
But the music we making it touch your soul, take you to a place you never been before. Africa tunaikamia tu most bana. I'm Kenyan, so you know I'm a marathon runner. Unaishiaje vi basic, nika kesho iko promise. Na kuna rasitesi, napenda album ya Chronics. Nyuma yangu na jeshi, nomba niende mbali. Wanakungoje udedi, wende wagawe mali. I'm currently not in a position to kill poverty. Sina kitu kwa mpesa usini hale please. Natafuta kitu in many different currencies. Black check disease, wife akidai shopping twende overseas. Mekam na gari kubwa, let me show my kids. Nazieka juu ya meza uone emblem jadinya. Shiski ndio stima wacha kenje nani. Keep talking, keep talking. Keep talking, keep talking. Yeah, keep talking, keep talking. Keep talking, keep talking. Yeah, it's the way I live my life. Telling nobody live my life for me. Telling nobody run me. Leo sapa tunakuladi mpishi, bora tushibe. Mwiko refu tunafungadi mshipi, bora tupike. Kamba ya buto unaweza gongewa, hauna mbota na bado timing unatolewa. Bora mpishi jumpishi, bora shaolewa. Easy but niko easy ganji kitolewa.
Baby don't touch me there, me gonna wake at you in the air. I miss it, touch me there, sugar down low, find me there. Hakuna cherry bus, nikisha kanyaga simu, I'm always on time. Gonna pay your number, gonna pay a gaki calls. Likunisha ndenka kipata nimedoze. So don't really hit it, dawa hini dose. Spirit iko so high, uwezi shusha walai. Baby don't be so shy, tisha Kenya na die. Feeling really high, kila kitu alright, Baby don't touch me there, me gonna wake at you in the air. I miss it, touch me there, sugar down low, find me there. Hakuna cherry bus, nikisha kanyaga simu, I'm always on time. Hakuna zimefit kwa nyonginyo ni magret, feeling really high. I'm really best, check it vile najihai. I'm really best, check it you cannot deny. Feeling really high. Anaikumendi bas mi do medicine, na doba zangu kwake ni therapy. Mzembe ting, na kutibu from within. A win is a win, nikisha kanyaga sin. Mohana nice and lovely, sweet and sexy girl, won't you catch a wine for me? And take me back to December, ukipuliza kipenga, imechi wendo referee. Ashifura, 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 pomekuza mulima. Anainama, anainuka, atoti dedile sudika. Hakuna cherry bus, nikisha kanyaga sin. I'm always on time. Hakuna zimefit kwa nyonginyo ni magret, feeling really high. I'm really best, check it vile najihai. I'm really best, check it you cannot deny. Feeling really high.
Entertainment Thursday, it is right here on Good Morning Kenya, and we get to start off with our first interview of the day. And I'm sure you've already seen, we have this lovely looking lady on set right now with me. Her name is Anise, and she is a gospel artist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm so fine.
You're doing well?
Yeah.
The rain has not interfered with your moods and whatever?
Nothing.
You're well.
Yeah.
All right, for those who are seeing you for the very first time today, kindly introduce yourself to them.
I go by the name Anise Kithome. I'm a staunch Christian and a gospel minister. Yeah.
All right, so where did music begin for you?
I started singing back when I was young, but now taking it as a career was back in 2017. Yeah.
2017 is when you started officially.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you decide to, do it officially? What made you decide that that was now the time?
I believe it was a calling, because the way I wrote my first song, it was through a dream. So God has been so faithful. He has been with me along this journey. Yeah.
So you got your first song as a dream.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It happens. God is so real.
Yeah.
He works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I would want for us to get to understand completely, So you were sleeping, and then did you get the lyrics? Did you get a word? Did you get, what exactly did you get from the dream?
I had Mabawa. Like my first song, I had Mabawa. And then I was like, Mabawa ni ya nini?
Yeah.
Then Mabawa. Again and again. Then one time, I was just there sitting and I just started writing. And that is how I entered into the industry. Yeah.
All right. How has it been since 2017 for you?
It has its ups and downs, but still, I'm still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that bad, not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's come with both sides.
Yes.
Yeah. When we talk about the highs, what are some of your highs that you've gotten to experience in the industry?
Okay, my songs have been touching souls, and that is the biggest achievement. People telling you, what, when you sing this song, I feel like, you're taking me up there. So that is my greatest achievement, touching souls. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about the lows?
The lows?
Yeah.
First, music is very expensive. Marketing is very expensive. Getting event is very difficult.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, these are challenges that needs to make you a greater person. Yeah, I look at it as a positive thing, not a negative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You choose to look at life from the positive side of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we should all learn to do that. Despite the challenges that may come our way, we look at life from the positive side. We have a positive angle towards life. All right, the song that we just got to listen to as we were beginning the interview, talk to me about it.
About?
The song.
The Maba, that one.
Mema.
Mema. I love Mema. One of my favorite songs. You know what happened? My dad had passed. And so I was like, now, when you lose a beloved, the way it feels like a breadwinner, and you're like, So on my way back, mochari. So on my way back, ndo nikaanza kusikia mema, and I was like, hey, mema. So I went and sat down. Then when I just opened the Bible, it came to Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. And I knew, with him or without him, life must go on, and God is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how Mema came to be.
Exactly.
It was during a very trying time in your life.
Yeah.
So how do you go about doing your music? The first one you've clearly told us, it came in a dream. It was through a dream. And then now for Mema, it was, you were passing through a hard time. You had lost a loved one.
Yeah.
So just how do you go about creating your music?
It depends. It can be in a dream, in a vision, or again, creativity. Another thing, the experience. For instance, you're here and you see someone going through this. When you are talented, something can come into your mind and you write it down. Yeah.
Okay. Unique?
I have one question. Like in a gospel, let's say industry, most artists wamefika mahali toka kwa senior, like doing gospel, waka switch to doing secular. What's your take on that? And what is that something that imekufanya umestick kwa gospel up to now?
First, I cannot talk about the Let's talk about where I am.
You want to play safe?
Yeah. I don't know about them. Unajua, one thing we should understand, it is ulianza music. If God called you, itakuwa ngumu wewe kutoka. Ngumu, because you try anakurudisha, you try anakurudisha. Another thing maybe ni business. Maybe mtu aliona hapa haina faida sana, pale kuna faida. And you should not judge them.
Yeah.
Just pray for them. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten to a point where you feel like, okay, I think now hii industry imenichosha, the gospel side of it imenichosha, probably it's not making you money the way you would have wanted it to, and have you ever gotten to that point?
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and unabaki unasema sini wache, but Mungu ni nani anakurudisha. But then mimi mara mingi nimesema sasa sindi because nimejaribu huku, nimejaribu wanisaidie hivi, nothing is working out. But leo nitasema sasa hata sitoi wimbo wengine, wacha kwanza hizo zikae. Utapata tu somebody calling me, Anis, uko na kitu? And I'm like, kuja studio. That is how, yani Mungu anakujaga niyo njia. Najipata tena nimerudi pale pale. So nikaona ni stick to. Yeah.
Una otherwise.
Exactly.
All right, so looking at the industry or ministry, if you'd love to call it that, as it is gospel, what changes have you seen from the time you got in? You know, 2017, it's now 8 years. So from 2017 to date, what changes would you say you've gotten to witness?
Okay. At least we are getting a place with no much struggle. You know, huko mbeleni tungingangana sana sana sana. But this round, at least mtu akiona your potential, wanakupatia opportunity. Yeah.
So opportunities are more available right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared
to then.
Exactly.
Okay, you have a new song. It's called Nyota. Talk to me about Nyota.
Nyota is a song which acts like an eye opener. Nyota means star. Star is, what is that thing that is making you to stand out from the rest? That is your star. So watu wamekuwa wakiambiwa, nyota yako imechukuliwa, nyota yako hakuna siku. Kile Mungu amekupa. You know, before you are born, God told Jeremiah, before I formed you, I knew you before I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Before you were born, God knew utakuwa maybe journalist, utakuwa hii. So what happens is, hakuna mtu anaweza ichukua, but they can do their things isifanye ungae pale nje. Yani you don't use it vile inafaa, but kuichukua it's a no.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea behind the song.
Behind Nyota. Yeah.
Umesikia watu wakisema mambo ya sitaki kutaja majina pasta fulani ambaye anajulikana na Nyota ama like
yeah, but you know, as I'm saying, Mungu, tuseme Mungu amekunenea, utampinga? No. Mungu akikupatia wimbo utakosa kutoa because of human beings? No. Utafanya vile Mungu anataka. You know, even when you are a servant of God, you don't speak what people want to hear. You speak what God wants them to hear. So vile wimbo ilikuja, mimi ni nani nikatae? Yeah.
Ukaenda nayo.
Kabisa.
All right. So before we'll get to listen to it as we finish the interview, but just looking at your YouTube and the songs that you've gotten to release, you don't do collabos. I don't think I've seen any collabos. You don't do collabos. Let's talk about that.
Okay, first, it's not like I don't do collabos. Ni bado wakati hajafika. You know, there's one thing with me. I believe in this. Ndio mtu akuje akue pale juu, aliwork. Alingangana. When we see the likes of Mathematica, wali work their way up to the top.
Sure.
So, wakati unaendea mtu collab, lazima angalie kazi yako iko aje. Na wewe ukishinda ukikimbizana now, they will not see the anointing. But leo umefanya kazi nzuri, even when you approach them, wanasema ukweli una amejaribu, wacha nimpe collab. Sasa ukienda tu hivi, tu unaenda hivi, sangapi utaandika wimbo yako? Yeah.
So for you it's intentional. Hautafuti collab. Unataka kujiestablish kwanza we mwenyewe as you, as Anis, before now the collabos. You feel like time ya collab ikifika itafika tu.
Itafika tu, itakuja. Kwa sababu hiyo time unakimbizana ungekuwa umeandika wimbo kama 10.
What's your take on that, Unique?
Actually, it's a good thing because before msa kupatia collab pia naangalianga jani yako ya music kwaje. Ataingia kwa YouTube. Ni kweli utamwambia I need a collab, but ataangalia jani yako. Apate uko na song moja, uko na song mbili, atakuchukulia serious. But the moment anaona kuna consistent when una release muziki, ataona yenyewe kuna effort hapa. The moment naekelea pia effort yangu hapa, kuna something it will build from two efforts.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
So it's a good way of someone just getting to establish themselves.
Yeah.
And then collaborate awapata tu mbele.
Baadaye.
All right, that's a good one. All right, I want you to look at that camera and speak to the people watching you right now, you know, new fans, maybe the fans who you had already, you already had. You can let them know where to find you on social media as well as where to get your music.
Okay, as I said earlier, I go by the name Anis Kithome. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Anis Kithome. You can as well subscribe to my YouTube channel, you know, view my songs. They're very powerful, by the way. They're going to bless you all. And thanks to all those who have been supporting me and those who will be supporting me.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you so very much, Anis, for coming. Tumalizie na nyota. On Entertainment Thursday, and we have a beauty queen with us. Her name is Beatrice Mutoni, and Beatrice is Miss Kenya Germany. She's here to talk to us about her journey. She's a fashion enthusiast, she's a model, she's a student, so she'll be telling us all about that. Beatrice, good morning.
Good morning. How
are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm really okay. I love how you look.
Thank
I love
you so much.
the dress.
Thank you so much.
Of course, the crown. You look really nice.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
All right, get to introduce yourself to us.
Okay, so for those who do not know me, my name is Beatrice Kanini Mtoni. I am a student. I'm based in Germany. I'm a model. Yes, that's the brief introduction about me.
Yeah.
And I'm passionate about community development and giving back to the community.
Where did your journey in fashion and modeling begin?
Basically, I could say when I was younger, I always wanted to be a model. I envisioned myself from a young age as a model. And when I went to the university in Eldoret, I really wanted to get into the world of modeling. But unfortunately, I didn't get any opportunities when I was there. I didn't get any place I could train. That was like almost 6, 7, 8 years ago. And then I kind of just forgot about that. And then after Corona, I moved to Germany. And then I kind of had forgot about that. And then around October, November, a friend of mine reaches to me and she says, you know what, I saw there is this event for Miss Kenya Germany. They're looking for people. Maybe you can try it. And I was like, no, I'm scared. I've never been on the runway. I've never trained or anything of the sort. And they had already closed the casting and things like that. So either way, I still decided to write them and ask, do you have an open place? Can I still send my application? And they said, okay. And then I think the rest is history. I sent my profile, I did the casting, and then I did the show, and I won.
So that was the very first time you were on a runway?
That was the very first time I did anything close to modeling. I always wait for photo shoots and things like that, but I was never on the limelight. I was never on any runway, on any fashion event, like a model or anything. That was my first experience to modeling, and I won the crown.
Would you say for you it's something that is inborn? Because I can imagine, you know, that was your very first competition, and not just your first competition, but the very first time you were on a runway.
Yes.
And you got to win. Like, would you say it's something you feel like it was just it's inborn for
Absolutely
you?
not.
Not?
No, I really wouldn't say that, because after I submitted my profile and we did the casting with the other girls, and I knew, you know what, I am going to be in this thing. I started a training. I've never attended any boot camp when it comes to modeling, so I used YouTube, I used TikTok, I used any social media services I could use, and I started training my catwalk, I started training my speech, I just started training myself. I put a lot of work into it, so I really cannot say it is inborn. I had to put a bit of work in it, really.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're acknowledging the work, you know, because most times people assume, you know, beauty queens and, you know, beauty pageantries, it's all about just the glam and looking fine and just shining over there, but they don't know the work that one has to put in, you know?
Yes, absolutely. I really wouldn't say, when it comes to modeling or just the beauty world, I would say there is much more than beauty, really. It's just one of the factors, but it isn't the important factor when it comes to that. For example, for the Miss Kenya Germany, we had to do projects. What are you going to do when you win this money? We had to present our projects during the runway. After during the show, you had to say exactly what you're going to do. So you had also to put time in coming up with a project that you're going to do. We had to do a talent show, we had to do public speaking. There is a lot that goes really to modeling. It's just not about the beauty. There is a lot, it's the showcasing of the culture, it's the giving back to the community, it's things to do with initiatives. Beauty is, the list of the things that comes to the model world.
Okay.
The modeling world.
How many Kenyan ladies were contesting for it?
I think we were around 10. We were around 10 on the runway.
Okay.
Yes.
What was your project?
Initially, the project that I presented is the project that I'm doing at this very specific moment. My project was based in Mwingi, where I grew up, because I grew up in a very, very small place in Mwingi, in a village. And I don't know if anybody has grown up in the village knows the struggles people go through, especially kids. For example, where I grew up, it was compulsory for kids to have like school uniform, but nobody really paid attention when it comes to shoes. And we had a lot of kids going to school without shoes, and we still do. If you've been to Kambani, you know how hot it is. It's really, really hot. And the situations of public toilets in public schools are not the best either. And then when I won, that is the project that I really wanted to do, winning or without winning. That was my project. When I was in that place as a kid, I told myself, when I'm in a place to do this for someone, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And so my project is based on supplying shoes for school-going kids in Mwingi at this specific moment, those who cannot afford the shoes and those who really need them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
so yours
what I'm doing.
It's a barefoot dream.
Exactly. Mine is from barefoot dreams to acing international runways. I call it that. Yes. It's a personal story for me. It's just not any project. It's something that I relate to. It's something that I have seen. It's something I've experienced. It is something that is very personal to me.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. That's really, really amazing. So is that the reason why you're in Kenya right now? You came specifically for that?
Absolutely. I would say I am mostly here for my charity projects. Last weekend, we spent Easter at Havila Children's Home. It's in Wiki, whereby we spent the day with the kids there. We ate, we danced, we had a lot of fun, and we just did a bit of donations for them. They had shared with us what they really wanted that we could help with, and we did online fundraising, and my friends and family came through, which I'm really thankful, and we made it beautiful for the kids in Wiki. And next week we'll be donating around 300 pairs of shoes to schools in Mwingi, and I'm really looking forward to that. Was really like my focus for this tour back in Kenya, apart from seeing my family, of course.
That's really nice.
Yes.
So you mentioned you will be donating in 2 schools.
Yes.
So you just pick random schools, or maybe a school that you know most kids don't have shoes over there, or how do you go about deciding where we're going to donate?
For a start, I would say charity begins at home. So the schools are around the area that I grew up in. We're already in contact with the head teachers of the schools. We had them pick the number of students that they thought were really needy, because we're just not giving shoes to anyone. We really need someone who really deserves it. So we had them give us a number of the kids that really need the shoes, and we're working with the schools. We are working with the schools. We have the shoes purchased at this specific moment, but we're still calling out to anyone who wants to be a part of this project, who wants to help. It could be physically, it could be providing more shoes, it could be financially in any way, it could be mentorship programs. Anybody who wants to be a part of this initiative, they are really welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
What gives you the passion to just work with your community?
I would say, we always say a child is raised by the community. It could be a child, but the community is the one that helps in the upbringing. And I mean, like I said, when I think about my future, the far I've come, I mean, I don't think I would have done it without the community there. And just the giving back and doing it for something else, for someone else, that is what really motivates me. Yes, I just want to give a smile to a kid, to restore the dignity, to give a bit of confidence to that deserving child.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned you were with some of the kids the previous weekend.
Yes.
Just how was that like for you? You know, just being there with the children. There's something about youngings, you know, the kids. There's just something about them. There's this energy. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel there's some energy when you are around children that is just so, it's so undeniable. Like you just come alive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, they were so amazing. They're such nice kids. It was so nice. We started around 11 in the morning. We went, and at the children's home there, they had like a yoga session. They do like, there is an organization that does yoga sessions for them, like once a month or so. So we went, and they were in the middle of the yoga, and we just joined them for the yoga session. And then we had also provided the food for that specific day. We cooked together, we ate together, we played games, we did a bit of catwalking here and there. It was really lovely. They are really nice souls. People are motivated to just have a brighter future. I mean, their backgrounds are not really defining themselves, defining who they want to be. They're just young kids with dreams. It was really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even as you continue to carry the crown, as you do that, what exactly does it mean for you?
I would say, like, with or without the crown, my mission is very straightforward. I want to continue with my initiatives, to continue with my projects. I want at one point in future to have a foundation which focuses on children's welfare, not just the shoes, just the whole children's education welfare, and not just in Kitui or not just in Mwingi, like the whole world. That's just my dream at this specific moment.
Yeah.
Just giving back to the society and being part of the change.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you looking to participate in other pageants? You know, do you say pageantry or pageants?
Pageants.
Yeah.
I would say.
Are you looking to participate in any, maybe other pageants?
Absolutely. I mean, participating in this one pageant really opened very many doors for me. I've been in the African Fashion Week runway several times now. I've been also on the other runways. I've partnered up with designers, and I'm really looking forward to being on other higher international runways, really.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to.
All right, all the best on that. Let's take a break. We'll be back to continue the conversation in a bit.
wellness is important in our daily lives, so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have by regular checkup. People don't know they have hypertension. They don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
From the bliss of new beginnings to the trials of commitment, this is a celebration of resilience, passion, and the power of togetherness. Join us as we unravel real-life stories, because every journey deserves to be cherished, for better, for worse, on KBC Channel 1.
And we're back. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, I am having a conversation with Miss Kenya, Germany. Her name is Beatrice, who has a really good initiative that she is doing in Mwingi. Is that Machakos or Kitui?
It's in Kitui.
It's Kitui,
yes,
yeah, Mwingi in Kitui. All right, so you know, you mentioned something to do with Africa. There's this
Africa Fashion Week.
Yes, Africa Fashion Week. Thank you for just I had forgotten it.
That's fine.
So Africa Fashion Week, it happens also in Germany. So this is where different African countries get to showcase.
Absolutely. It happens yearly right now, I think for the last 3-4 years, and it's just an event with African designers, African models, just showcasing the African world, the African culture, the African beauty to the world. It's really amazing.
Yeah, yes. And I mean, I would love to know the experience of that, especially because you are in a foreign land, that is not Kenya.
No, it is in Kenya.
It's not Africa, know. You're in Germany, but you get to showcase all these cultures from all these different countries from
Absolutely.
Africa. Just how is that experience usually, knowing that, this is not our land, yes, but we're getting to showcase, our culture?
I think it's a very inspiring experience. I would start with that. First of all, you get to meet a lot of people from a lot of different countries, a lot of African countries, a lot of European countries. Yes, the models on the runway and the designers are Africans, but the people seated at the stages are not just Africans, and it just brings a lot of joy and a lot of pride to see people appreciating the African culture. The African culture is really vibrant, the colors, the designs, it brings this passion. When you see somebody dressed in an African outfit, you see the work they put into it, you can see the culture, you can see the love, the passion. It's really inspiring, I would say that.
Yeah. While contesting for Miss Kenya, Germany, were you working with a Kenyan designer?
Yes, when I was contesting for Miss Kenya, Germany, I worked with actually several Kenyan designers. I worked with Masai Collection, I worked with Afro Chic, I worked with what is it called? Diaries of an African, what is her name?
Yeah.
Diaries of an elegant elegant lady, I believe so.
Yeah.
We worked with several African, actually not just African, Kenyan designers that are based in Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
That must be so nice.
It is really amazing.
How is the fashion world over there compared to the fashion industry in Kenya? And maybe what would you say we can borrow from there?
At this specific moment, I can say that I can say the modeling world, the fashion world in Kenya is really booming. It's just when you look at the fashion shows, I saw the Kenyan African Fashion Week, the Kenyan Fashion Week that happened, was it in February?
Nairobi.
Yes,
Nairobi Fashion Week.
Yeah, Nairobi Fashion Week, exactly.
Yeah.
You can see the designs the design as the model, it's just really vibrant, you know, when you look at the designs. I could say when we talk about Kenyan fashion, you see, it's expressive, it's inclusive, you know. You can see different communities, different cultures in just an outfit. But I would say with European countries, or with just Germany, fashion, it's more structured, it's more season-based. I would say something of the sort. I believe so far as Kenya, we're doing really amazing when it comes to fashion. We just need to keep aiming higher. Yes,
I agree
absolutely.
with you. The Kenyan fashion industry is really, it's really coming, you know, up. You know, it's at a place where it's beautiful to see. It's at a place where we can say we are proud of it, you know.
And we're having really amazing designers. I mean, look at my outfit.
Yeah, it was done by
exactly, it was done by a designer called Kimani Cups. It's really amazing. Just looking at it and looking how much effort people are putting into the outfits, into their work. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, we really have amazing designers for sure. And actually speaking about that, immediately after this interview, we'll be having a fashion designer as our next interview. Yes, we have so many great talented fashion designers from the 254, the models. I mean, we have so many runway events happening in Kenya. It's beautiful to witness. Now I want you to look into your camera and speak to a young girl who's sat at home or wherever it is that they are watching the show from, and they're just looking at you and they're like, I want to be that. Like, they would want that crown. They want to become models. Just speak to them.
For a start, I would start by saying our backgrounds don't really define who we are. We can be anyone, we can be anything we want to be. Don't let your background, don't let where you come from or where you've grown really define who you are. That's just a stepping stone to what is to come in the future. Put in the effort, believe in yourself, and go that extra mile. And anything you desire, you can have it.
Whatever it is that you put your mind to.
Absolutely, you can have it.
You can definitely have it, and you can definitely do it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and kudos on the good work that you're doing. It's a really good initiative, so all the best on that.
Thank you so much, Vivian. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Okay, this is where we end this particular interview. You can get to follow. Where do they follow you on?
You can follow me on all my social media accounts at Kanini Beatrice. Kanini and then Beatrice for B-I-T-R-I-S, Kanini Beatrice.
Okay, you can get to follow her across all social media platforms just to get to keep up with all the work that she is doing back home. That is in Kitui, Mwingi. Thank you so much for watching this interview. Don't you go too far, because Entertainment Thursday gets to continue. We have a fashion designer coming up next, and immediately after the fashion designer, we also have Rojo Mo, and we also get to enjoy some good music. So don't touch that dial and don't move.
Shoes are my guilty pleasure. I'm a size 9 and you don't want measure. You can never walk a mile and I do it every time. When I step in at the club, Nico Tessa. Jimmy Choo, Jimmy shoes. So many and I don't want shoes. I dress to impress on you. I dress to impress on you. I'll be all you need. Give satisfaction guaranteed. Gotta stay fresh if you roll with me. Gotta stay fresh if you roll with me. I'll be all you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. Gotta stay fresh if you roll with me. Gotta stay fresh if you roll with me. Fashion, 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 fashion. Chimandema, looking like a fallen angel, Lucifer. Pull up in a fur coat and a bandana. Soon I throw me now, we throw as if I'm many, Mamigo. Balotelli, ladies to give me photo. Paparazzi, Don Julio, Don Tiami, Ekumedu, Lao, Ni Pestaza, Lao, Azametra, Lao.
lao, ekumetu lao, ipesta lao, azame trao lao, yo lao, lao, yo lao, 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 It's not the way I see me, because of the way I talk it to me, yeah. Think you see me the street of Oba, it's me street of Sapler, it's me quick go, it's me tell you, so you can talk to me like this. Yeah, I'll be your wow. You know. So, Minister of Enjoyment, it's a continental, monumental, go live forever. Top another bank out, at the mat, they must be meta. Smoky Sasa, let me can't forget your mother. Ekumetu lao, ipesta lao, azame trao lao, yeah, lao, ekumetu lao, ipesta lao, azame trao lao, yo lao, yeah, lao, yeah, lao.
And here we are back, and right now I am joined by a beautiful lady. She is a fashion designer, and she is also the owner and co-founder of Ceylon Couture. Her name is Francisca Parrett. Francisca, morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on set. And you look really nice.
Thank you.
Are you wearing your own design?
Yeah, this is Ceylon Couture.
Amazing, awesome. For those who are seeing you for the first time, I love giving someone that opportunity to just get to introduce themselves.
My name is Francisca Ceylon Parrett, the owner and founder of Ceylon Couture. Ceylon Couture is a fashion brand that deals with elegance, bold, and unique pieces.
Yeah, and of course you've come with some of your pieces.
Yeah.
As we can see them, that's a lovely looking gown.
Thank you.
I love that green. I just love it. And of course the coat is also looking really, really nice. All right, let's talk about where the journey for Ceylon began. Like, what made you start Ceylon Couture?
My passion for fashion started back in 2020. During COVID, I started making masks, and that is where my passion, my passion for fashion started. Back in 2020, I started making masks. I started from my bedroom.
Yeah.
I had a small sewing machine. I started making pieces in my bedroom. Then after high school, I decided to pursue my diploma in fashion and design. So that is where I started.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a musical break and then we get back to continue with this conversation. Don't That was really, really a short musical break. We were just getting into the dance and then we were back on air. But yeah, this is what you expect right here. After this interview, we'll get to have another interview with Rojo Mo, and then we're going to enjoy the DJ just mixing. And as he had mentioned earlier, kuna ngoma mpya mingi sana that we need to get to know about. Let's get back into our conversation. So you were telling me you started in 2020. Actually, COVID is what brought this dream or made this dream come alive, because you started from making masks.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I started back in 2020, started making masks. I was still in high school.
You were in high school?
Yeah.
In 2020?
Yes.
Hey, mommy, how old are you?
I have still children.
Yeah, you're very children, by the way. Very children.
So I started in 2020. I was still in high school. I started making masks from my bedroom. I had a small sewing machine and I started with that. Then after making masks for a few months, I started making Masai shukas for people. I sell. And that is where I started. Yeah.
Okay, so you were in high school when you were making the masks, you know, and then immediately after you started making the Masai shukas and whatnot. When did you now decide this can actually be something I get into full time?
After high school, I went and told my dad I wanted to pursue a diploma in fashion.
Yeah.
Many were not okay with it. Wengine walikuwa nauliza, you want to become a fundi? So, and my dad believed in this dream. It's not just becoming a fundi, sio fundi. Many people don't differentiate between a fundi and a fashion designer. But my dad believed in me, and that's why I'm here today.
Yeah. For those who don't understand the difference, kindly just give us the definition of the two.
A fundi is a tailor, like a seamstress, someone who stitches. But a designer works with a fundi. A designer designs a garment, an outfit, and gives it to the tailor. So the tailor stitches the garment.
Yeah. So the designer is the one. It's more like an architect, really. But you're not drawing houses. You're drawing designs of, you know, clothes and whatnot. That's who a designer is. Anachora alafu anapeana, and then it's brought to life by the tailor.
By the tailor. Yeah.
So, like, what exactly inspires your designs?
My designs are mostly inspired. I love seeing people happy. When someone wears a nice outfit, I love seeing people happy, making people happy during their special occasions, graduations, birthday parties, and the joy that comes when someone wears my outfit. That one gives me the reason why I started.
Is it easy to source for fabrics in Kenya?
It's not easy, but there are available fabrics, but getting good quality fabrics, it's not easy.
Yeah. All right. I want us to talk about that gown, because I really find it so cute. So let's talk about it. Like, what was the inspiration behind that particular design?
The inspiration was natural with floral. You see, it has a lot of flowers. It's green. It represents nature. Yeah.
So it was just
nature, and with a lot of flowers.
Yeah. Okay. How much would you sell that for?
25,000.
25,000 Kenyan shillings.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to have that complete?
Like 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days of just working on it.
Yeah. It's a corset dress. It has an inbuilt corset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So kiva snatched. Lazima ukwe snatched. Whether unakuanga snatched or not.
Inakuja na flat tummy.
Inakuja na flat tummy. All right. Now there's the other coat that is just beside it. I really love the material. I haven't really touched it, but it feels like it's really good material. Like the pattern on the fabric. Just talk to me about that coat.
This coat is a very unique. Can I show you the button? It's a very unique.
I can see it has 2 buttons. Yeah. Like,
you can remove the 2 buttons.
Oh.
And still take them back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera is ready to follow you to show us that. It's just next to. Okay. Yeah. You can just Oh, you are chained to the seat. Your microphone. You can just pull it. You can just pull it and carry it. Yeah, carry it. All right. So it's, how do you have two buttons on there? So how do you close it? You can just speak, we can hear you.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Oh, that's quite unique. So the buttons can be removed, but you can have them both over there. And then ukifunga mtu anakuangalia anashindwa, ulifunga aje hiyo button, you know, and just go back to your seat. Yeah, so that's really, really nice. So like something like that, you know, an idea like that, how does it come to you?
How does it
come to you? Like, you know, that's unique. I haven't seen such a thing. So how does that come to you?
It comes with creativity. In fashion, you have to be creative to be different from other designers. Yeah, because the normal suit has the normal buttons. So I thought of it and decided to try it out. I didn't know it would work. Yeah.
So you just try things out.
Yeah.
If it works, are there designs that you've done and you were like, this one should not see the light of day?
Yeah.
They're there?
They're there. Their outfits are made even for clients. There are times you question yourself, do I really need to do this? There are times you go home crying. But there are those days that make everything worth it. Yeah.
In this era of social media and Pinterest, where we can get info for anything, I'm looking for a certain design, I just go on Pinterest and I'll find something, you know, with AI and all of that. Is it much easier for you as a designer, or does it come with its challenges in that I'm coming to you, there's this design, I want you to make it exactly as it looks, and I want it to fit me exactly how it's fitting the person who has it on. So is it a challenge for you, or it's actually something nice?
It's a challenge. Someone can come up with a design that is draped on the dummy. It is pinned on the dummy. And the client comes and he or she wants the same design, which sometimes won't be possible to make the same outfit because it is not stitched. It is pinned on the dummy. So kuna time client haelewi, hataki,
mbona uwezi kunifanya nikae kama hiyo dummy inakaa.
And saa zingine mtu anakuja and hakai kama hiyo dummy venye inakaa, and anataka akae hivyo exactly. The waist, a snatched waist. And sometimes it's not possible, na si rahisi convince client kwamba you don't look the same.
Oh, I can imagine how challenging that is. Me, I've come, I want a nice bodycon and I want to look like I'm so hippie. And I'm not really hippie, you know. You would want to advise me to put on like a flare thing, but anywho, it happens. Now I see you've come with your models. As they come in, oh, you really love green, huh? You can just come in. You love green?
Yeah, I love green.
It's just a coincidence that leo umetuletea green kuona. I love that. Oh, I love that gown. When do I have the next event to attend? That looks really nice. Would you look at that? Wow. Let's talk about that. And you know the corset, goldish. Just talk to me about that outfit.
I love this outfit as well.
Yeah.
And it has a long tail. I don't know if they can see the tail. It's like a Cinderella outfit.
Yeah.
The tail is inspired by the Cinderella outfit. And the corset, I wanted the gold, because I see emerald green goes well with the gold accessory.
Yeah. Wow. It's so, so beautiful. It's really beautiful. And then the gentleman right next to her, nice fitting suits.
The nice fitting suits, I love it. I love the fabric. It's not a plain fabric. It's checked. Because the normal suits are normally plain fabrics, like the navy blues, the blacks. So I decided to be different this time and try something that is black, grayish, which is checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a double breast? It's a double breast.
Yeah, it's a double breast.
And then what do we call this? If
Which
that's
one?
double breast.
This is the normal suit.
It's like normal suit, and then that's a double breast suit.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. You know, when you mentioned you just finished Form 4 in 2020, I am imagining you're so young and you've already gotten to, you know, you're living your dream. Is this really, this has to be your dream, like this is really your dream and you're living it already. You have all these designs. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just how amazing is that?
It's amazing. Sometimes I don't also believe that this is me. It was once a dream and right now it's a reality.
Yeah.
I'm living it right now. I also started sketching way back in primary school. I used to sketch designers, other people's designs. So, and I didn't know I'll one day come and become a designer. Ilikuwa tu ya, by the way, haikukuwa serious, it was for fun. But now it's a reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
You cater for both genders, clearly. You cater for the ladies, you also cater for the gents.
Yeah.
Did you start from the word go doing both ladies and gents outfits? Ama ulianza na one specific one and then?
I started with ladies because I am a lady. I wanted to dress myself first. Then I started, my interest for suits started nikiendelea na ladies. So I decided why not do both of them. So in school I started with ladies, then nikaendelea na gents pia.
Yeah. All right, as we almost come to a close of this conversation, would you say Kenyans wear Kenyan designs? Do Kenyans buy clothes from Kenyan designers?
I don't think most of Kenyan they don't believe in Kenyan fashion. Bado trust they believe import from outside it's better, but we are trying kufanya your notion isi kuonyesha kwamba even Kenyan we can get good designs here in Kenya.
Yeah, maybe what can be done in order for us to promote our designers more?
Buy Kenya, buy local. Yeah, and they should trust us.
Yeah.
We are trying to show them what we can do, and it's good.
It's good work, for sure. Definitely. How much is that gown?
This one,
35,000.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it, I love it, I love it for sure. Okay, we need to finish this conversation, but for someone who's gotten to see you and they've loved your work and maybe they would want to work with you in one way or the other, if there's a fashion promoter who's planning to have a runway show, if they would want you to go as one of the designers showcasing, maybe where do they find you?
They can find us on all our social media platform at Ceylon_Couture, and for my personal account, Ceylon_Parade.
All right, thank you so much. Final remarks?
Thank you for having me, and I am so happy, and yeah.
All right, thank you so very much, and thank you to the models. You didn't get to talk to us today, but don't worry, there'll be a next time, huh? Thank you so much for coming through to the show, and all the very best. I cannot wait to see your design. Where is the peak? Where would you say when you get to that point, it's the peak for you?
When we get international clients, when Ceylon Couture is across Africa and across the world. Yeah.
That's going to happen for you, for sure it will. All right, this is where we end this conversation. Remember to get to follow Ceylon Couture so that you can just get to be seeing these beautiful designs, and if you have an event you'd love to attend, I mean, you know the person to get to speak to dress you up so that utoke kama umeshtua watu wanakuangalia hivi. We end this conversation, don't go too far, we'll be back with more.
Usiku wa leo. Yeah, yo. Kama foot mita lazima tapata report. Hey waiter, leta tot after tot. Sikuje bandika kila meza usiruke. Tumekuja sherehe waitisha nikupe. Na usibleki sana ukaona nyeusi nyeupe. Mtoto leo unaweza niganda na sita kuita kupe. Excuse me, kuna vile hapa niko zone. Kwa hii sherehe na chafu unaweza niteta. Basi twende DJ situko set. Ingoma ukaribu sote raha tupande wale. Leo ndo siku tujibambe.
Umesema leo ndo ile siku, ndo siku yenyewe ishafika tayari. Leo ndo hiyo siku. We have Rojo Mo in studio and he's come with a new song where he's gotten to feature Reckless. Ndo hiyo hapo ambayo tumetoka kuisikiliza sasa hivi. Rojo Mo, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Niko freshi.
Umekuja na vibe kama kawaida.
Vibe jipya kama kawa, yani vibe la Mombasa tumekuja hapa Nairobi. Naona mvua kidogo, weather imenyesha.
Inakusumbua sasa?
Wapi?
Manake watu wa Mombasa
nishazoea bana. Nilikwambia unajua mimi Nairobi mwanzo ndo ilikuwa napata shida, but right now mimi naweza kama mimi Nairobi
hawezi kwa kama mimi jamani. Mimi mzaliwa huku tutafanana.
Pole tunaelekea huko.
Alright, it's really great to have you on the show, Rojo Mo.
It's a blessing.
Always great to have you on set.
And it's always a blessing being here. Unajua the fact that inakaa kama ilikuwa hapa jana bana na nimekaa ujue.
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's why you guys, that's the beauty of the whole beauty of being in relation vipoa unajua. Sababu nimekuwa hapa mwezi wa 8 last year.
Yeah, last year in August.
Yes.
So kama ambaye tu ni juzi
tu. So it's all good, and the last time I was here I told you I was working on new projects. Niko kufanya kazi mpya ambayo at the moment nimelimalizana nayo, so I went back to the studio, cooked a new jam, shot a new video, and here we are. Yeah.
All right. Since the last time you were here, that is August.
Yeah.
Waweza sema hapo katikati, aside from wewe ku work on the new projects that you've brought for us, what else has been happening in Rojo Mo's life?
I've been doing a new series. I got picked for a new series, so nimekuwa nikishoot, naweza sema hivyo. And shooting unajua inachukua, like I told you, ukiwa kwa shoot kidogo inachukua time yako nyingi, so kidogo najitenga na muziki, nafanya shughuli 2-3. Now here we are, so nimekuwa tu nikisema nikishoot, at most of it.
Who are you playing as on the new series?
I'm playing as Eddie. This time around I'm Eddie kwenye hiyo show.
Bado wewe ni mhuni?
So mhuni. Kijana tu jamani, innocent this time around. Mtaniona kijana moja innocent, very holy. Lakini vile vitu nafanyio vinabidi vinanifanya niwe mtu ambaye nabadilika roho yani, unaona. So tunasema ni hivyo, bad but in a way I start out good. Unajua naanza kama mse mmoja mpole, humble, then some bad things happen to me in the story. Like I have this stepmom who mistreats me. She plans to sabotage whatever I was to inherit, so in return I turn to this person who wants to revenge, also envious, unajua. So hiyo bad boy bado tu inaingia in a way.
So is it a series that is already out ama iko in the works?
It's premiering soon. I think it's I won't disclose details sana sababu najua wadosi pia sijua kaona huu kimbele mbele, lakini majaliwa uko mbele kama around mwezi wa 5 ama 6 itakuwa mambo mazuri.
All right. You're here because of the new music, so let's talk about the new music.
Yes.
Inaitwa ni leo.
Inaitwa usiku wa leo.
Usiku wa leo.
Yeah, usiku wa leo.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so usiku wa leo is more of like a party song. Unajua things that go down from Friday to Sunday hapo kabla hujarudi kazi Monday. And it's a song I've done with Reckless. Reckless is like right now I can say is more of a friend, unajua. From me knowing him through this guy called Battles. Big up Battles Entertainment, ndo alifanya nikajua Reckless, and we went to the studio. Unajua there's this, I want this, since niko Mombasa nataka tu collaborate with these different artists, unajua naona nikiwa kwetu huko. So kujaribu ku grow brand zaidi, and that's what I'm doing right now. So kupata opportunity kufanya na Reckless ilikuwa ni kitu ambayo najua itaweka brand, itazidi kupandisha brand juu sababu I have more good music coming. And collab kawaida unajua ni kitu ambayo mafans wangu wanakuwa mafans wako, mafans wako wanakuwa mafans wangu. So it's more of increasing my territory na kujaribu ku-expand brand yangu iwe kubwa zaidi. So we made Reckless last year around mwezi wa 5 ama mwezi wa 6. Hii ngoma tumeifanya by the way mwezi wa 5 last year. So I just kept it, did my acting thing. Then when time came sasa nikamwambia jamaa to shoot video. Tumefanya video na msanii anaitwa Trey Jewels. And right now I can say the song is out for Kenyans out there to see it, and it's doing good.
Yeah, it's a party song.
Yani
ni nyimbo ya sherehe. You know, from beginning to end ya kupiga sheshe.
Nyimbo kupiga sheshe. Yani watu wa kule bata, ni ngoma kula bata. Sawa. Ngoma watu wa kule bata. Ndio.
We had an artist, was it last week, where we had a Kenyan artist who resides in Australia. He was here on the show, and he was talking about Kenyans saizi tumeingia kwenye nyimbo za party sana, like our songs are just party, and for him he felt like we are losing the art. What do you think about that?
I mean, as I said, the artists have specifically specified their genre of music in doing party songs, unaona. Kwa mfano kama hii Reckless is from Ethic Entertainment, and the kind of music they do is gengeton and abanton and all that, you know, ngoma za hizo type. So me coming with a song that maybe I can put in message and then put Reckless in to do message, kidogo itaka weird. So I said, let me just go with the vibe. Unajua, wao vibe yao ni ya party, let me just follow the vibe. But me myself personally, I do all sorts of music, and the song that I'm dropping next after this one is a bit cautious kind of music. Unajua, so mimi ni mtu ambaye niko diverse. Party song yes, but inategemea na artist gani unafanya naye. So with Reckless I said let me follow the trend they are doing. Unajua, so sikumtaka kumweka kwenye ngoma ambayo iko na ujumbe sana hapa naye huyu amekuja na gani. Unajua lazima pia watu pay attention to the fans, what they want, so more of demand.
Yeah, so it depends with what the fans want.
Yes, exactly.
Know, if at this moment una feel fans wako kwa hiyo
vibe ya
party,
let's party,
kupiga bata,
watu tukule sherehe, ndio.
So it's not really something ati inafai kuwa ati no, let's not get into the party music sana.
Wajua pia imagine sasa tukisema tutasema ujumbe sana si mbaya, but then again wajua sasa pia shida ni mingi, tutoke kwa hizo shida kidogo tupige, and it's that kind of thing. Unajua sasa hizi shida tumeshazisikiza sana. Nyumbani nikienda ni problems, bibi problems, sijui nini problem. Nataka kidogo kitu ambacho kitanifanya ni feel joyful, unaelewa? Kitu kama hiyo sasa ndio unaona tunarudi kwenye ngoma za kupiga sherehe, maana ni ngoma ambayo kidogo inakutoa kwa ile stress, labda umepata siku stressful kazini. You relax at least ukisikia ngoma ya vibe au una happy kidogo.
For sure. Unique.
Wamesema stress ni mingi.
Alafu anaanza na bibi, so nashindwa kwani
kasongo huku pia nakupeleka mbio, unacheki so.
Unique, uliza swali yako.
So moving forward, like is there any maybe artist you're looking forward to work with apart from Reckless?
Nimefanya ngoma, niko katika ile kufanya ngoma na nashukuru Mungu. Unajua mimi upenda nifanye moja ya Kenya, moja ya kule kwetu Mombasani. So I have a song.
Mombasa si Kenya?
Yani azin kuna ile unajua kwa tuna Uswahilini, kuna vibe fulani ya inakaa tu tofauti na
umejitenga kabisa.
Kuna vibe fulani inakaa ya coast yani. That's how you do go back, do one for your people huko chini, then go back, come back, do one for Kenya. So I have a song that is coming, nimefanya mimi na my big brother Cannibal na Chikuze pia ni artist wa Mombasa, and this time around nilimanage kumpata nyota ndogo, yani nyota ndogo unajua ni legend. Nyota ndogo mazee amekill kwa hiyo song, so ni ngoma ambayo tuko maybe nashughulikia next after this one, and I have another song that I'm working on to Nasaru, so more bigger collabs coming.
And that's really diverse. You know, you're talking about Nyota Ndogo.
Yes.
You're talking about Chikuze.
Yes.
Cannibal.
Yes.
Wajua hawa wote tuweza sema ni kama ni legends, you know, because they have been singing from back in the day. And then now, speaking of, you know, where the diversity is coming in is when you talk about someone like Saru, who's very new school. You know, she's just, you know, she's in the game right now. Sasa, hapo kwenye emergency and all that. So, just how does that look like for you, you know, working with this diverse kind of groups?
It's more of me and my team. Watu wangu ni kama vile naona huyu anaweza kuwa manager huyu. Hivyo venye umeongea hivyo. Kuwa manager. So it's more of
manager wa kulipwa.
Kabisa hapo kwa kulipwa. Chele lazima kiingie. So it's more of unajua nikijaribu kupanga kazi. Kama nilivyokuambia tunajaribu ku expand brand iwe bigger zaidi. You see pali unaanzianga ni pali muhimu.
Yeah.
That's the formula. Let me break it down the formula. Pali unaanzia ni pali muhimu. So mimi nimeanzia Mombasa and growing I want to go even global. So there's a formula for doing that. You have to start home, grow, toka nje, collaborate with outsiders, then if possible I'll go East Africa, maybe ninge Tanzania, I do another collab to expand my brand even more. Then majaliwa nikipata opportunity ya kufanya kwa mfano na Turbulence, that will be global. So you start chini ukienda juu pole pole. So with hii ya collab ya mimi Cannibal Nyota Ndogo Nchikuze, ni a friend of mine told me, unajua Mombasani kuna hao ma legend wetu Mombasa ambao tuko nao, ni watu ambao wametikisa coast from way back. So unaji uweke kwenye ngoma moja. Then that's a good idea. So it came up as an idea, say I approached Cannibal VP, can you do something here in this song? Mbona poa. Cannibal akaweka. Same thing na Chikuzoe VP. Chikuzoe zeka kitu hapa, Chikuzoe akaweka. So Nyota Ndogo kwa sababu ame reside voice hizi, yeye nilimtumanisha song, so aliweka verse then akanirudishia back. So the song imefanywa mix and mastering, so we want to shoot the video majaliwa sometime next month and ikitoka lazima mtaiona tu. So thinking of hiyo sasa ni kujaribu kujenga kibrand huko chini, but moving on a national level back to Saru sasa, contacts nini tuone kama tunafanya kitu na Saru, then that will be for Kenya, hii ya Kenya nzima. The other one is for Kenya nzima pia, but sana ni kukitisha kustamp nyumbani, stamp ile authority kabisa.
Has it been easy or difficult, working with some of these artists?
It's in tricky saa nyingine, sababu unajua pia wasanii they come with kila mtu ana vibe lake, na mapozi yake, unaona, na sana kule Mombasa tunasema mtu anakuvimbia. Kuvimba ni ile sasa anakuonesha kuna thing. So you go through his ups and downs kumtrace maybe, but with all these artists ambao nimefanya kazi nao ni management, na management imekuwa positive and professional. Unajua ndio kitu muhimu, you bring the professionalism in it. Sio mambo ya kisela. Unajua kuna ile ya kisela bana, vipi wewe mchizi wangu bwana niekio vest hapa, sio hivyo, ni ile bana vipi, you have time, let's go to the studio, do this, maybe I'll sort this just to keep you una hiyo heshima yako. Unajua nakuweka na hiyo heshima yako. Sasa namtaka Vivian, bwana I'll bring your limousine ije kuchukua hapo nyumbani. Vivian unajua bebu na limo upeleke kwa
wafanya hivyo lini jamani?
Sijali.
I would love to pull up in a limo na kuja show na nimeacha na limo.
Ndio tunaelekea sasa, unaona. But all in all, the professionalism in it is what is important. Unajua, so atufanye mambo kishikaji. Even when it comes to sema tutafanya hii nyimbo and we'll do split sheets, know who will benefit, who is going to like be the owner of this song and all that. That's also very important. So we go down detail to detail venye ambavyo tutatumia hii ngoma kujijenga na kujiendeleza.
The business side of music, I believe, is very, very important. You've talked about split sheets. I believe it's really important, when you approach your music as
from that angle.
As a business. Like this is my business. It's supposed to bring me money. As I'm also putting in money.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what nakwambia, nikisema sasa tunaifanya biashara. Unajua sasa msanii ukianza kumwambia mambo ya tufanye kishikaji ama kibeshte, then unaona sasa hapo analeta mchezo. But tuseme sasa twende serious. We put this on paper. Hii ngoma tunataka tuifanyie hivi. Kisema ngoma ita blow, itakuwa ngoma kubwa, hivi ndio tutaikulia. So all that if it put down na break you down vizuri, unaona kila mtu anakuwa interested zaidi. So any artist na approach mimi na approach from that professional level. Ni ile ngoma tutaifanya, tutaikuliaje itufaidishe mimi na wewe. So itu collab tu wa Kenya wafurahie na sisi kuna kitu ambacho tutapata ndio.
Alright. Okay. So usiku wa leo watu wanaipata wapi?
Usiku wa leo iko on all social media platforms, but sana kwa wale ambao hawajaiona, kazi iko pale YouTube. To all mashabiki wangu wote, my fans out there, ingia pale YouTube, search Rojo Mo, ROJO na space unaweka MO hapo. Ngoma ni usiku wa leo, Rojo Mo featuring Reckless. Bana check ngoma, like, share, weka comment yako, alafu zaidi subscribe to my YouTube channel, ndo kazi mpya ikitoka wewe unaweza kuipata. Also find me on Facebook, nisipate kama Rojo Mo, on Instagram nipate kama Rojo Mo, on Twitter pia pale tumefungua challenge ya ngoma, kwa hivyo fika pale. Bwana tusongeze ngoma.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Rojo Mo, for joining us, and keep bringing us new music. Ukitoa tu wajua hapa nyumbani.
Thank you. Ngoma next ni hiyo, ni mimi hiyo na Nyota Ndogo na Kanibala.
All right, we'll be waiting on it. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuning in on this show. This is where we get to end Entertainment Thursday for today. I believe that you have had a blast. I have had a good time on the show today, and I hope that got also to be your experience of the show. You got to enjoy it, and you've gotten to get to know some new people that maybe you didn't get to know, some new creatives that you can follow up on. This is where we end it. My name is Vivian Dagwa. I have been your host alongside Unique, the DJ. We do this each and every Thursday, so see you next Thursday, same time and place, God willing. Usiku wa leo tumalize nayo.
Usiku wa leo.
Leo natembea na rendea mtu kama fort. Mita lazima tapata report. Hey waiter, leta toti after tot. Sikuje bandika kila meza usiruke. Tumekuja sherehe waitisha nikupe. Na usibleki sana ukaona nyeusi nyeupe. Mtoto leo neza niganda na sita kuita kupe. Excuse me, kuna vile hapa niko zone. Kwa hii sherehe na chafo neza nitedon. Basi twende DJ si tuko seti. Ingoma weka lipa sojera tupangi wale.
Huyu karani, huyu sijui ni karani ama
anakuchoma na nini?
Ananichoma na hichi pala. Wewe ni hiyo chichwa vile na meremeta.
Yeye ameenda akatoboa septic tank ya mtu mwingine akajaza ya jirani.
Kuna wakati nileta Hanisaka ikuje leta uchafu kwa septic yanga.
Ayu Hanisaka.
Ati?
Ayu Hanisaka. Did I any confirmation of amechanganyikiwa na maisha mheshimiwa.
Wewe ndio umechanganyikiwa.
Fete nyumba.
Unafanya nini huko ukifanya kama ujenzi wa taifa hivi?
Ama chop winners mheshimiwa. Chop winners.
Stop.
What's wrong with you?
I said stop the car.
You mean Dan is missing?
What do you know about this? I had nothing to do with this. Don't play dumb with me, Millicent.
I came across a poster.
Dan again.
What's wrong with your tata? That is full of wonders.
Hello, Margaret.
Oluwali Margaret.
Wow. Mama hapo wewe mzangu.
I told you I'll take care of everything.
Were you also part of my abduction?
Oh, shut up, Alice.
I'm going to find out.
Why haven't you found out already?
You know what? I think we're done here. Just leave. Katunda wange.
So you guys are friends now?
You wanted to kill my daughter.
Murderer.
Robots have become a common sight in today's Japan. They're especially widely used in industry, with Japan making about 50% of the world's industrial robots. Here, we're going to look at a new industrial robot that operates on revolutionary principles. It was developed by one of the world's leading tire manufacturers. They saw that rubber, the raw material for tires, had the potential to make a different type of robot. This robot grips objects with a hand as flexible as a human's. Because it's rubber, it can handle things gently without scratching them. The hand can also adjust its grip to match the size and consistency of any object. A major issue in many countries, the shortage of labour in distribution industries, was the force that drove the development of this robot. A lot of tasks need human hands, and labour shortages have become a serious problem. Seeing the need for robots that could take over this work was the trigger for our project. The artificial muscle technology used by their robot is based on many years of research. When pressure is applied to a rubber tube filled with air or oil, the tube contracts and stretches like a human muscle. Adding metal plates allows the direction of bending to be controlled. The robot hand holds great promise for distribution centres, which must process objects of all sizes and shapes. We believe that our hand can make a valuable contribution to a number of industries, from distribution to food and factory automation. Professor Nakamura Taro has been researching artificial muscles for many years. He built this robot